one and all. Welcome to our very first ever. We have never done this before. This is very special. We are doing our very first just chatting stream, as the kids are calling it, as the Twitch streamers call it. Ultimately, we're pretty new to this whole game. We were kind of talking about it today, and we've only been doing this since November, so we're still little babies with the streaming game. We have been talking about doing a just chatting stream, different types of just chatting streams, by the way, for a long time, and that is still the plan. This is just one iteration of them. And we are really excited to hang out and just talk. And hopefully there are some people that, maybe some new time viewers and to come hang out that have no interest in video games, but do appreciate me and or David and or Taylor. So we are going to be, hey, Scorpio Mushroom. It's funny that you should comment because guess what? So
we were just talking about you.
Guess what? So this is, so we're just going to be hanging out, chatting, but also we're going to be using these conversation cards. This is a game from a psychiatrist, I believe, or psychologist, one of the two. And it's called Where Should We Begin? It is a bunch of conversation cards with all different types of topics. And it's funny that Scorpio Mushroom comments because this was the game, the little conversation card game that when you were going to visit originally that you had to cancel. This was the game that I was going to play on our little picnic day. So yeah, and it came in handy to still have it because now we're going to be using it with everybody who joins the stream today. So I can't wait. David is here. David is in the Discord. David, can you say hi?
Hi.
Nice. As always with every stream, let me know if all the audio levels are okay. I want to make sure that y'all can hear Dave. David is currently... Oh my god, David is here? David is here! Although unseen, he is very heard. He is here. You have a big fan in the chat, Dave.
Yay!
And David is currently grinding in Marvel Rivals to get Lord with Spider-Man. So he's going to be gaming and playing while listening to the questions and answering along with us. So I'm going to shuffle up these cards a little bit just because, man, the last time I used them, I don't think I reorganized them. So I'm going to do that. But while I am doing that, what I would love to hear in the chat from anyone here, what is a song that you have been obsessed with lately? What is a song that you just can't stop listening to lately? I want to know y'all's answers. I know for me personally, it has been a song called Little Tugs by Mike Coda. Highly recommend, although it might make you cry because it is a really sweet song. But in a good way.
I've also been obsessed with Little Tugs, but not the song.
Interesting. Very interesting.
But yeah.
Sexual.
Yeah.
Cinderella Snaps by Jax, says Autobell. I have never heard of that song or that artist, so I will check that out and see if I can also become obsessed with it, because sharing music is one of my favorite pastimes, aka current times, aka just activities. What about you, Dave?
I don't know. I mean, right now, I will say the song that I've probably listened to the most recently is I've been on a what do you call it? Guitar Hero kick. I've been listening to old songs from Guitar Hero, like FCP Remix and Through the Fire and Flames, stuff like that. I've probably listened to Freebird like 100 times. It's also just a really easy song to listen to pass the time because it's a 10-minute song.
That's true.
But I also think that the song, despite being extremely popular, is also somehow underrated because I genuinely think like everyone, like when you think of like a long song that's really well renowned, you think of like Bohemian Rhapsody or something like that.
Mhm.
I'm like, bro, Freebird is like musically one of the best songs ever made. Like I really do believe that. Which, by the way, speaking of that, I was just talking to Taylor the other day about I have a playlist on Spotify that is my top 40. So we always hear about top 40, like
That's
that's the market being.
yeah, that's a good playlist name.
Yeah, and so it's my top 40. It's my top 40 favorite songs of all time. And I told her, I was like, I need to remake this list, especially because like I'm sort of blending my thoughts about it with my favorite songs and also like what songs I think are just the best songs of all time. And I was like, and the fact that I don't have the Dog Days by Florence and the Machine on that playlist is like criminal. I was like, that is one of the best songs ever made in my opinion.
Oh, that is a good
And it
song.
to be
I
on
forgot about that
list.
song. Are they? Was Florence and the Machine a one-hit wonder? Do I?
No, because they have some other hits. You probably just don't think of them as Florence and the Machine because they just sound like every other British artist. But
That's fair.
they have a lot of songs that I love, especially for like Halloween season. Girl with One Eye. Girl with One Eye is a really, really phenomenal song. If you haven't heard it, you should check it out. If you like Dog Days, you're gonna love Girl with One Eye.
Well, y'all just heard Dave and his recommendations. I just typed mine in the chat in case y'all didn't hear it. I see New Perspective by Noah Kahan is in there. Am I saying, is it Kahan or is it Khan?
No, it's just Khan.
Oh, my
No,
bad.
Khan. I'm assuming that was Taylor. I don't have the chat pulled up.
Yes, that was
Oh,
Tay
sure,
Tay. Audibel, thank you for showing up to the stream. We appreciate you, by the way. Thank you. I'm almost done shuffling these cards. So there's a massive stack of these. There's actually a lot of these. So I'm just gonna separate them into 3 different stacks, in case, because from what I remember, they are kind of in order, quote unquote, as in similar type questions next to each other. So I want to get them nice and spread out. Here we go. That should do it. All right, my friends. All right, my friends. I just relate so much to that album, so much, and that song is on repeat right now. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I get that because that whole album in general is about like what it's like in his life for the first time in his life, not being in the same place that he grew up in.
Oh, word. How do you know what that's like, Taylor? How would you know what that's like?
Yeah, he has a song that Taylor showed me that I didn't even know like when it came out. She heard it first. That was like he has a line in the song. It's like he's singing the song from the perspective of his family from his hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's a line in the song where he says, "You're the best thing we ever lost." And it always chokes me up. And it chokes Taylor up too when she listens to that song because it's like their perspective is like, hey, you know, we're proud of you. We want you to go out and do your thing and we're happy for you, but we're going to be here and we're going to be here forever. So, you know, like this part of it, the rest of the world is yours, but this part of your life is always going to be here. It's a really beautiful song.
That's sweet. It's also a really nice sentiment because that's something I appreciate about. There's actually something a little comforting about that when you go back to where you're from. I hesitate to say home, but you know, when you go back to where you're from and things are just the same enough, it's actually like really comforting. And it's like, oh, I have this like, it's almost like saving a game. You like go back to your saved progress, and it's like, oh, even though it's been forever, I haven't even booted up this game in a year and a half. Oh, it's like I get right back into it. I remember my last save spot, and I like that. Yeah, I've been. This is actually a great segue into when we're about to start pulling these cards, because some of these cards can get pretty motherfucking deep. And yeah, my obsession with that Little Tugs song is that there's a stanza where it comes back to this really soft moment in the song, and it says, "Little hugs, I wish I could give you little hugs. I've got you, baby, you're enough." And it reminds me of Buddy, and it makes me. We lost our family dog recently, and it hits every time. I just start crying every time. I've been crying to that song so much And it's funny because I've been like kind of like tearing up, crying. The other day, I swear to God, this was maybe 2 days ago. I get home, that song is playing as I'm parking it at my apartment complex to go inside, and I start bawling. Just like it's no longer like tearing up; it's like full on like like ugly crying, because I think I've just not fully processed it yet. And we recently went to go visit our family, and then it really hits because that the dog's no longer there. He's not there, and so it becomes real, right? And so I have this very delayed like grieving and actually like being extremely sad over it. And so I'm listening to the song, I'm crying in my parking lot during broad daylight where everybody and anyone who walks by can absolutely see me. And it's so funny because in the middle of like crying, not even in the middle, but like towards kind of like the end of like this crying session, I start to laugh in the middle of crying because I'm like talking to myself out loud, and I'm going, Jesus fucking Christ. Like I keep saying, because I want to get out of the car and just go inside, but I don't want to, be in public crying like a psycho. So I'm like actually laughing at myself and getting frustrated by crying so much, and kind of looking at the funny side of it of like, man, if anyone sees me, they're going to be like, dude, are you okay? This guy really hates parking.
Well, you know what? It kind of reminds me of there's this comedian who once said, he said, there's nothing scarier than a man crying. And he said, because when women cry, women, allow themselves to cry more often. And like, he said, when women cry, they are grieving and they're going to get better. That's what that means. He said, when men cry, they're about to kill somebody. Like they murder people. And I was like, okay, well, kind of true, but I feel that too. I mean, I've also been, going through it, even like needed a haircut really, really bad. And for those of you who don't know, our sister is a hairstylist and she cuts our hair. And she was like, come get a haircut, come get a haircut, come get a haircut. And I'm like, I can't. I was literally like, I just broke. And I just told him, I was like, I'm not ready to be there without Buddy being there, because that's like, it's a really hard feeling. I mean, he was an old dog too. Like he'd been around for a very long time.
Yeah, it's a challenge that I definitely felt like I waited long enough to like, okay, I think I'm ready to face this kind of thing. And getting to talk with our mom about it too was nice, and just like confiding in her. So it was very much needed. I see in the chat, you say, I relate to a couple of songs specifically about moving away from my family and how they'll always be there, or there is one about his anxiety and his depression, and how hard different that is with medication and coping mechanisms. God damn, yeah, this guy is singing about some very real shit. It's good to feel what you need to feel. That's a beautiful sentence, and yes, it is very correct. I agree. All right.
Your feelings demand to be felt, says Sean Green.
That's right. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that quote actually. All right, I'm gonna start pulling some cards here. We'll see if some more people join along the way. I already saw a couple people commenting in the stream. Shout out to everybody who is joining us today so far. And we are gonna start pulling some cards. And here's how this works. Look, there are some in here that are like a little too much, and if that's the case, I'll just skip them. But if you guys want to answer in the chat, you absolutely can. You don't have to. But me and Dave will be answering these cards and chatting and shooting the shit, as we say down south. Or is that actually that kind of sounds like an Eastern Coast thing, doesn't it? Yeah, shooting the shit. I guess
I don't know.
It's
universal, dude.
Any accent you put on it, it just sounds like it's from there. I think it's a French thing. You're shooting the shit. All right, here we go. I'm gonna pull a card here. Okay, this is interesting. All right, I'm gonna try and show these to the camera, but the focus is not gonna be great. But this says, and some of these are not questions, they're more so statements that we have to finish. So Dave, the first statement that we need to finish is, I still feel like I need to impress ...
Need to impress
Yes.
millions of people enough to come and watch our streams and pay me to entertain them. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the answer to that question is, in my mind, it's everyone. In reality, it's myself.
Yeah.
No one like and I've said this for years. I'm like, nobody puts the pressure on me that I have on myself. You know, I've done this and I know it. In my mind, I know it.
Mm-hmm.
In my heart, I still feel like, there's an expectation on me to do certain things, be a certain way, know certain things, and it's not true at all. But I'm getting there. I'm getting better. I talked to my therapist about this a lot. One of the things that she said that really, really resonated with me that I try to think about all the time is, well, first of all, she challenged me because she said, if you're not the best at whatever it is that you think you need to be the best at, what happens?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know. Everything's fine, I guess. Like, it's not like if I were the second best at anything that I do, that everything in my life would fall apart. And she was like, the other thing that she said was this. Um, she said that she has this flower that grows in her garden that she really loves. She says it's her favorite type of flower. I forget what it was called. And she said it only grows in like the springtime, and every time it grows, she would look at it and she would admire it and she would love it. And she would say to herself, she would say, the flower doesn't have to do anything for me to love it. She's like, I love that flower because of what it is. And the flower's not trying to be a flower. They're not going out of their way to be a flower, but I still love it. And so she used to tell me all the time, she'd say, your value exists with or without its observation. Whether or not people observe your value or appreciate your value or verbally or whatever, give you that validation, the value that you bring, the value that you have into the people in your life, into the things that you do, still exists. So try to be a flower, and that's the only thing you ever have to be, is a flower. And so I say that to myself all the time. Like when I find myself like getting too much, I say, you know what, just be a flower. Like the value exists.
Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me that there's like a really small band, I think based out of like Utah maybe, called Melancholy Club, and they have this song called Delete This, and there was literally just like these 4 bars, excuse me, of the song that made me think of you, David, because it said, better than I could have been, I'm a glutton for regret, I'm always reaching for a bar that no one ever set. And I was like, if that is not the most Dave, just putting these crazy expectations, on yourself sometimes, and then having this illusion that if you don't meet those, then everyone's going to hate you. And I'm like, but no one set that on you, only you did, And,
yeah,
that's like, that's kind of in that same realm of what you're talking about. I know that my, like, who am I still trying to impress? My real answer in a real like old man kind of way is too many damn people. I think like as I've gotten older, I definitely have like, and I say this in a positive way, I have started to care less about a lot of stuff. And it's allowed me to be more in tune with myself, but it is sad sometimes how much I catch myself like still like performing for an audience instead of just like believing in myself, if that makes sense. Like definitely putting on a certain thing, like putting on a performance in a way, and it's kind of embarrassing, and I'm like, why? Well, who am I doing this for, and why am I doing it? And it's kind of embarrassing. But especially the older I get, the more embarrassed, especially like in the age of social media and stuff. And yeah, speaking of trying to impress people, I mean, I just joined the goddamn dating apps again, and it does feel like that whole space is like a very, it just feels like I'm one of those like dance monkey dance type of people that's like trying, just please like me, please. And it's just I hate it.
I know. And you know what's so funny about that too? I know we'll get to the next card here. I do see in chat, my grandma. I went to finish school and live a full life for her. I get that, man. I mean, Taylor's grandma. You know, of course, she can speak more to it in chat too. But she sacrificed so much of her life to do everything she could to take care of Taylor in the best ways that she could, to teach her how to be a good person and all these things. So it's like, I get that 100% for Taylor's grandma. Even I'm still trying to impress Taylor's grandma. There's a song, speaking of music and lyrics and relating, there's a song that is the credits song for the show Steven Universe, called Love Like You. And that song is in my playlist called Songs That Make Me Cry Every Single Time. And the reason why is it reminds me of our grandparents, but it also reminds me a lot of Taylor's grandma, because of how the song, the lyric in the song says, it says, "I always thought that I must be bad, and now I'm sure that it's true, because I think you're so good, and I'm nothing like you." And then it says, "If I could do anything that would do right by you, I would do anything if I could learn to love like you." And yeah, it reminds me of our grandparents too, because it's funny that we talk about like, who are we trying to impress? Who are we like, whatever? When we come from a family that never made us feel like we needed to impress them, and you know, like they just very love us for who we are, kind of people. And also, we were raised by a single mom who is probably the most confident person I've ever met in our. She does not care what anybody thinks of her. Like, she does not feel the need to impress anybody. When you talk about like knowing your value, like, she is someone who's like, she knows her worth, you know. And I'm so jealous of that a lot of the time.
Yeah, I get that. I definitely try to abide by it, especially in her career. Like, she's just very,
oh yeah,
like, you know, I am like the opposite of "you're not that guy, pal." She's like, "I am that guy, pal."
Yeah,
and she's right. So I try to adopt that a lot. Easier said than done, though.
It is. Yeah.
All right. Here's an interesting one. I still remember being rejected by ... I have
my wife when I was 13 years old.
My wife. I have multiple of these. The one that comes to mind first, I'm not going to say any names, obviously, but I was in 8th grade, I believe. Maybe it was younger than that, like 6th grade. But we were about to go to like a different school. So it was some kind of transition of going to a certain in-between school. And it was like the last day of school, and everyone was giving each other hugs, like to say bye. And I asked this girl, I asked this girl if I could get a hug, if I could have a hug bye. And she said, "Ew, no." and to this day, if I see her name, if I see her on social, I'm like, I do not like her. Like, to this day, it hurts so much that I still have a negative feeling towards her. And I shouldn't. It's literally, we were children, and it's really silly. But it hit so deep that I was like...
Wait, who are you talking about? I missed the beginning. He's not giving any names.
I'm not giving any names. But yes, I asked her for a hug. She said no. She said, "Ew, no," and backed up like, ugh. Yeah, I still have, and that scares me. That scares me because I have been an asshole to so many people, especially when I was a kid who didn't have a fully developed fucking brain. And I hate the idea. That scares the shit out of me that someone out there like hates me or does not like me because of something I did when I was 11 years old. You know, it's like I feel bad for this person that I still feel negative towards her because, you know, what if she's an amazing, sweet person now who is like, oh yeah, I used to be a bad person. I'm cool now, you know?
Yeah. Backburner says she missed out. That's very true.
Who's laughing now?
Who's laughing now? Probably still her, actually. It
Yes.
says, I was a teenager and I had a crush on a barista at the Starbucks in our hometown. Mom knew and tried to get my number and tried to get my number, and he said no. Try to give him my number, and he said no. I will never forget that. I do know that story. You know, your mom denies these allegations, but she denies every allegation. So it's oh, sorry. I'm also playing video games, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, listen. I'll say this. I don't ever think about the rejections that I faced when I was younger, not even the one from my wife. Not that I don't remember them, I just don't ever think about them, and I don't have any held on resentment because I'm in a really good place in my life with a lot of love. And I think that I'm the fully realized version of the Backburners comment. It's like every time I think about it, I'm like, well, they missed out because I'm a pretty good husband, I think. Been doing all right for the last couple years. And yeah, so.
Must be nice. You know, mine's the
Well,
opposite. I'm like, wait, maybe she was right. That's why I'm alone in my 30s. I can see the Backburner said, had a crush on a... By the way, if you guys missed the question or the prompt, these are prompts, not questions. I'm sorry. I keep saying that wrong. But the prompt is, I can still remember getting rejected by ... So if you guys want to participate, you can. I see the Backburner says, had a crush on a girl at my first job. Once we became friends and I learned that what she was like, that crush went away immediately. Yeah, let me tell you something.
Oh, so you rejected her?
You rejected her, but you know that brings up a great point that it is unbelievable how much personality matters. It can make the most attractive person so ugly, and it really, really matters. Or the most unassuming person so attractive. Like that has happened to me before for sure. Where like, you know, a girl that I like didn't really think twice about in that specific kind of way, like said or did something or acted in a certain way that was like, whoa, I'm really attracted to her now. You know, it's like, it's unbelievable how much personality matters. Uh-oh, we have a in the chat. What does that mean? I'm scared. Let's see. Backburner says, I do have a funny story about me fumbling someone who was trying to crush on me, but that's a story for voice chat. Well, feel free to join the Discord, Backburner. Let's see here. Taylor says, I rejected a guy at a club with my sister-in-law, and he looked disgusted. Oh, yeah, I'm assuming disgusted. Disgusted when I pulled my hand away and pointed to my wedding ring. Wow. That's a power
this was,
move.
like, very recently, by the way.
Wait, which hand does it go on?
The right hand.
The right hand.
Or left hand, sorry.
Oh,
Left hand.
left
Left
hand.
hand. Left hand, I'm stupid. Sorry, I don't wear a wedding ring.
Read it and weep. He said, I don't wear a ring.
I don't.
That is a reason I'm scared, that I would be scared to get married. It's because I want nothing to do with hand jewelry. That feels like it would be really uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable when I fidget with my rings too. I used to have a bunch of them. I fidget with them too much, and then I drop them all over the place.
Yeah.
So.
My wife has a great story about rejecting a coworker. Well, hey, tell her if she wants to tell the story, please drop it in the chat. I know she commented earlier. Also, Dan, show your hands on stream. Why?
Prove that you're not married.
Y'all want to see how small they are? Your hands would look nice with rings. I disagree. And that's it. Although I have been thinking about starting to rock a nose ring, but we'll see if that's just a full-on midlife crisis or if that's real. Just a heads up, by the way, there is 45 seconds until we have an ad break. I believe.
So you have 45 seconds to sub if you're not subscribed.
Exactly, 40 seconds to subscribe to avoid that. Now, I believe most everybody in here is already subscribed, which is why we love you so, so much. And we do still love our non-subscribed members, but we would love you even more, and we would we would kiss you if sloppily, in fact, if you subscribed. A simple chain bracelet, actually. Well, you know, I trust you. You know, women's opinions on like male style is very important. In fact, when I tried out the fake nose ring and the like chain that I started wearing, because I was like, you know what, I want to start accessorizing, I immediately texted Gabby and I was like, hey, does this look dumb? Like, you know, what do you actually think about the way this looks? Let's see, bring the nose stud back. My mom has a lot of like face jewelry. It's always funny. My mom has always been like so much cooler than all of us. Like,
Yeah.
she's always had like tattoos and face piercings and like all this like badass style. And then I waited till I was 28 years old to get a tattoo. Autobell, here we go. It's not that funny, LOL. This guy just liked me at work. And instead of asking if we could go out like a normal person, he asked, are you in an arranged marriage or a committed relationship? Was he
Those are the only
Amish?
two options, by the way.
Are you in an arranged marriage or a committed relationship? That is such an interesting way to propose that question of, are you seeing anyone? So he didn't even, okay. I'm thinking more about this. He didn't ask like, hey, would you ever want to go grab some coffee sometime? I like talking with you. It's nice hanging out with you. You want to hang out outside of work? They just went straight to, are you in an arranged marriage or a committed relationship? That sounds like a, have you or a loved one ever been, what's that Tim
You
Robinson
might be
bit?
entitled to some compensation. Yeah.
Turbo Time. Yeah, that's funny. Backburner says, I love this guy. I wish I met him. Yeah, you guys should hang out, man. Oh my God, I remember that story. Crazy question, dude. Oh, you've already heard that before. It was just some white boy, LOL. I pulled a Taylor. I held up my left finger with my engagement ring. That's what you got to do. You know, unfortunately, not to get too serious, but it's just really scary to be a woman having to reject a man these days.
Yep.
It's just such a scary thing and awful situation to be in, unfortunately. It should be completely normal and easy to handle, but it's just not because of the way things are. Sad, sad, sad. All right, we're going to pull another card. Get ready, chap. Actually, wait, I need to draw from a different pile. My fault. How about this? This is interesting. The first time that I can remember feeling embarrassed.
Oh, man.
What is
Skip.
Skip. What is the first time you can remember feeling embarrassed? I know the very first time that would be hard, but I definitely remember 5th grade. I remember the school and everything. We were at recess. I had a massive crush on this really cute girl that had like pigtails, and we were all walking back inside from recess. And oh wait, I have an even better story after this. I'm sorry, I just remembered a really good one. But anyways, we were walking back in from recess. I saw the girl I had a crush on. We're walking back, and there's this big puddle of mud and water, and I was like, you know, it would be so fucking cool. My 5th grade brain goes, you know, it'd be so fucking cool, and what would impress her if I jumped over that puddle and she saw my crazy athleticism. Now, this is hilarious, too, just to think about the fact that in 5th grade, and not much has changed, honestly, but in 5th grade, I was a legitimate just little butterball. Like, do you know the Rizzler? That's exactly what I was built like. I was built like the Rizzler, like to a T. But I was like, I'm going to show her these cool skills. I'm going to jump over this puddle. I tried to jump over it, did not clear the puddle, and in fact landed in the puddle and then fell backwards, completely drenched in mud water. And everyone was laughing, and I was like I believe I was trying to play it off. My memory's too fuzzy on how I reacted, but I was very embarrassed internally. Now, a story that I do want to tell really quickly. In 8th grade, we had a teacher who let us. She was really, really cool. She was a great, like, she gave me a lot of advice and even pulled me outside of class one time to kind of like explain what being a woman is like and what her experience is like day to day. Because I don't even remember what brought that up. But anyways, she was really, really cool. And she let us hang out at her classroom after school if we needed to do anything. Even, sometimes we would have band practice and like go play instruments and practice. Anyways, one day I was hanging out there with, I don't remember who all was there, but it was definitely me, that teacher, and my friend Brianna, who I used to hang out with back then.
Doxed.
Doxed Brianna. And I was standing on a chair erasing the whiteboard for this teacher, and Brianna comes up behind me and pantses me, but she pulled shorts and underwear down, and literally my dick was just out in front of her and a teacher. That is a real story. And Brianna
I wonder
felt.
if she feels equally as embarrassed.
Oh,
as
Brianna felt
Is-
horrible.
Timothy in the Discord now?
Yeah, I just heard him.
Oh. Hi.
Timothy, could you talk for me? I need to monitor your levels.
That's a nightmare story. I would never get over that.
Yeah, it was honestly too funny for it to be more embarrassing than funny. And I was really quick to pull everything back up. You know what I'm saying?
Fastest hands in the West.
That's what they call me. And and I do think about, man, I would rather be in my situation than in that teacher's situation. I'm sure she was just like, oh my God, how did I end up here? I want to read some chats too. Let's see. Oh yeah, just going back to having to reject people. He says you have to gauge every situation. It could come up where telling them I'm married is dangerous. Yes, that is correct. How about another embarrassing story here? It says not my first, but a distinct one. I was a little nerd in middle school, and I got made fun of for my ears and my lip being too big, or my lips being too big. They were, but I grew into them. It's funny. It's funny that you get made fun of for stuff that is now like the dream. Like everyone wants big lips, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you have big lips. You just can't escape getting bullied. I'll tell you what. This popular guy at school, he had been flirting with me, and he asked me out. And at the end of the day, he revealed that he had an X on his hand, which basically meant he was pranking me, and everyone knew. He was put up to it by other kids, and I was teased relentlessly. I'm so sorry, Taylor. I remember that X game very vividly. And
yeah, by the way,
yeah.
I know who that guy is, and I'm telling you this right now, that it's on site. If I find that
Hey.
motherfucker, and I told her, I said, I wish you would have told me that story at that time. I would have helped you out. Because I was a bully in high school, and I did it better than anyone. So,
damn, that's tough. What about you, Dave? You got any embarrassing?
nah, I've never been embarrassed about anything my entire life.
Also, I should
actually.
mention too, dude, I wet the bed
you
until
guys,
I was like,
meaning my family, have embarrassed me or made me feel embarrassed more than anyone. And you know what? To a certain degree, it's a positive, because when you are hanging out with a child narcissist a lot, it's probably good to set them straight.
yeah,
But at the same time, all of my most embarrassing stories are like the salad fork story and shit.
yeah, the salad fork story.
Yeah, the salad fork story. Yeah, that's, you guys know what I'm talking about.
You guys know. Yeah, I did want to say I wet the bed until I was like way too old, like maybe 10 years old, 11 years old, somewhere up there.
Yeah, we both did. Guess what? It turns out that was a trauma response. We didn't know at the time.
LOL. But that was, so I have
So
plenty
random.
of embarrassing moments with that, like trying to, having sleepovers at like my soccer teammate's house when I was a kid. And then like in the tent, like I remember we were sleeping in a tent, like doing like a backyard, like camping type thing. And sure enough, I wake up, my pants are covered in piss, and I tell the parents like, oh yeah, I think a Gatorade spilt in the tent, and and they're like, oh, it's weird that it smells like piss. Not that they actually said that, but it's like me trying. I was so embarrassed, and I'm just trying to think of anything to explain why I have soiled myself. I did too, but trauma. Yeah, I'm just now finding that out. I did not know that was a trauma response thing to wet the bed. What about you, Timothy?
I mean, the most recent one I can think about, I was on this stream. No, I'm joking. I don't know. I think probably the one that I remember the most is years. I don't even know how old I was. I was so young, and we were playing. We had a family over, a friend of the family over, and me and my brother were playing. What's that game? Apples to Apples. And I don't know what crack I was smoking or what was wrong with me. I mean, I know what was wrong with me, but I don't know what was wrong with me within that moment. But and it's the cringiest thing ever. I'm trying to remember. Somebody had played a card, and the card I had played for Apples to Apples, if you know how it's played, is I played a card that said French fries, and they were like, "That's a dumb card. No, nobody cares about that." And for some reason, I was moved by probably a demon at the time to announce to the whole room that French fries were indeed actually really cool, because you could stick them up your nose and snot them out. And then I went on to do that, to show people that you could do that.
Oh, you did a demonstration.
And still I look back to that day and be like, was I possessed? Was there an exorcist that was done right after that? Because I don't know why I did that. Oh man, I still know the people who played that game with us, and every time I see them, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you had to witness that. But watch me do it again.
That's tough. I've never played Apples to Apples. I just Googled it, and I'm seeing it for the first time.
It's kids' version of Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
Ah.
Way before Cards Against Humanity came out, so technically,
Yeah.
it's the way around.
Technically, you were supposed to play it where the card you played actually made the most sense, but
Right.
everyone just played whatever was funniest.
Right. And I thought that snotting French fries out of your nose for some reason was funny. Which, I mean, if you guys want a demonstration, I can come on stream sometime and show you.
Hey, I'm always open to it.
There
Hell
we go.
yeah.
All right, let's pull another card. Ah! Almost dropped the entire deck. It's fine. Here we go. This is the most expensive mistake that I've ever made.
Marriage. Oh, sorry.
Love and marriage.
It's a good.
Yeah, is it a personal cost? Because I can tell you some mistakes Dan's made that cost other people money, but
Oh, yeah? Like what?
get your oil changed, guys. If you
That's
haven't gotten
true.
your oil changed.
That's true.
Get that done.
Take care of your cars. Take care of your cars. I know. I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind for sure is tearing my Achilles. I mean, is that is that a mistake? I don't know. Is that making a mistake? It feels like it. That was very expensive. I'm still in medical debt from that.
And medical mat.
If you don't have medical debt, you're not American. I'm just gonna say that straight up.
Yeah, you have to get your citizenship revoked actually if you're not in medical debt.
That's right. That's what I'm hearing. My sources are telling me. What about you guys? Most expensive mistake?
Man, I don't even know.
I don't know about the most.
Bars, says
expensive,
chat. Thank you.
But I can think about like the most recent expensive mistake that I've made, and that was not switching my home insurance in time. I thought I had time, and then home insurance was due, and it doubled from last year, and it was too late to
Damn.
switch. The day of that it was due, I was like, I have made a horrendous mistake, and the home insurance that I pay for the year has now doubled. And I can still switch, and I can get some of my money back. But if I switch, I would have paid it twice, and then I have to wait for the money to come back. So I was like, I remember I called my dad, and I was like, Dad, I've made a horrible mistake. And I told him, and he was like, Yeah, you're stupid. I was like, No, you're supposed to help me. So yeah, if you're paying insurance like that, look ahead before it's due and find somebody else. Switch insurance agencies every year if you need to. Stuff's expensive.
It's funny that mine and yours are both somewhat insurance related.
It's always insurance.
Gotta hate it. What about you, Dave? What's the most expensive mistake you've ever made? I can see chat says a car repossession years ago. I've also had a car or two repossessed.
Yeah, that one was like, not to air out Taylor's dirty business on my answer, but that one ended up costing initially me a lot of money. Initially me. Of course, she paid me back, so she, it's all good. But initially that was a me cost that Taylor made a mistake, and it was one of those things where it's like, it was just like, it was one of those things you have to learn as an adult. Like, hey man, it is embarrassing asking for money. It really is. But the people in your life that would give you that money won't give you that money because they just have unlimited money, or because they love you so much and they just want to do best for you or whatever. They will give you that money because they themselves have been an adult in this world for usually longer than you have, and they get it. Like, it was one of those situations where, like, she needed $200, and then we ended up paying like $1,300 because the car got repossessed. And I was like, oh, anyone in my entire family would have given you $200 because they've all been there with the repossessions and stuff like that,
Oh yeah.
And it was early on in our relationship too, so it's like asking my mom for money when we were just dating. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
That's a big
I get
deal.
it. It's really embarrassing, but now it's like, it's a learning curve as an adult. For me myself, I mean, my medical debt came from a kidney stone. Definitely didn't make any mistakes there.
I remember that.
For multiple kidney stones, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the most like financial crisis moments of my life that I've been in were related to losing jobs, and I'm still trying to convince myself that those weren't my fault. So I don't think I'm allowed to say those.
Yeah, I've definitely like quit, just like way too easily. I just walking out of a job, but luckily it's like, I guess hindsight, it's like, oh, good thing I did. Like, I moved on to something else that was less toxic or whatever.
David's got a good point though. It's extremely hard when you lose a job to not just immediately think that you've done something horribly wrong. I mean, unless it's a really, really bad job.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same for you, Dan, but Timothy, I can barely hear you. Just let you know.
Yeah, I have turned his volume up to 150 to hopefully be heard on stream. Y'all let me know
Is
if
this a little better?
he's too quiet. Give me another test, Delta Tryon.
It is me. It is I. I am here, and I will die. That's me.
All right.
That's me.
It
Yeah,
is
that's
showing
better for
better,
me.
yeah.
I turned up my gain on my. I forgot that I was doing a whisper video. No, I'm joking.
He was doing an ASMR video before
I was
joining.
doing
Yeah,
ASMR.
it's
Yeah,
one of his
those-
47 channels. on YouTube.
The ASMR videos really didn't do good in my community, so I just cut them out.
Oh, this is interesting.
Um,
Okay, I have a good one for y'all whenever y'all are ready.
But yeah, Taylor, if you know what my most expensive mistake is, let me know what it was.
She did say David regretted buying the Dyson.
I do regret
What?
buying the Dyson. Here's the thing. We were getting to a point in our life where it was like we had realized the benefit of paying more money for really nice things. And I was sick of going through vacuums. I was sick of my vacuum never working. So I bought a really expensive vacuum, like really expensive. And it still breaks all the time and it still doesn't work. I'm like, okay, well, it's the same, didn't solve my issue, and I spent an unbelievable amount of money on it for what it was.
That's
Um,
sad.
I've also spent quite a bit of money on like mobile games in my life that I would. It's like if someone came up to me and say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you all the money you've ever spent on a mobile game," and they had like a briefcase, they'd open it up and it'd be a comically small amount of money. But I would be very appreciative to have that money.
Yes, yeah, you'd want it back.
Yeah, the amount of money too that I've spent on the reason that I quit playing FIFA is because I was spending so much money on Ultimate Team. Was getting I was working at like Pizza Hut at the time but living at home, so I was making like a bunch of money in Texas. Um,
10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah, in 2015. I was making a bunch my own money for the first time, and I could spend it however I wanted. And I was really into FIFA Ultimate Team, and I was really good at FIFA, and started taking it very seriously, and was spending a lot of money and getting so tilted every time I played an online game. And I realized, okay, video games are supposed to be fun, and I've already paid $70 for this game. Why am I spending more money on it? And I had a big coming to Jesus moment and was just like, enough. I'm done with FIFA, like, completely. And so I just stopped playing it. Haven't really played it since. Here's a question. I don't know if I can answer this one, to be honest, but you guys certainly could. And I guess you could take a positive or negative angle on this. I don't know. But here's the prompt. It is, my beliefs about marriage have been most challenged by
Marriage.
Got him.
You know what? My beliefs about marriage have been most challenged by. My beliefs about marriage have not changed in a while.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to meet somebody who felt the same way about marriage that I do. And in a community where that is not the case. We're the only people in the area that we grew up in and the friend groups that we grew up in that felt the same way about marriage as we do. And so, but I will say to this day, I do see, and I talked about this on the stream very recently, or I talked about this on the podcast. It was a podcast where everyone else's belief on marriage, younger people, I'm only 20, coming up on 27. And I'm like, bro, young people's belief of what a relationship needs to be, what a marriage is so fucking ass backwards, and it's so obvious these people are alone. Like, it's insane. I'm like, there's more, like, you change your perspective being married on what a good day in a marriage is and what a bad day in a marriage is. And what a good conversation is, what a bad conversation is. And a good conversation can be telling each other why you're both pieces of shit. It can. And a bad day could be, not addressing any of those things and only being affectionate, or whatever. So being married has changed my perspective of marriage, but not just marriage, like just any relationship. It's like, even like you and I, like, I'm like, yeah, I have to communicate with Daniel as my brother and my creative partner in an appropriate and effective and progressive way, the same way I have to with my wife, so.
Yeah, I see chat too. Taylor says, my husband is their answer to that. She said, I mean that earnestly. Nothing challenges your views on marriage like marriage. Also see, just to the previous question, a mention of regret from buying an egg game.
Okay, I didn't buy the egg game, okay? I spent money on an egg game. You wouldn't believe how many fucking eggs I had.
Eggs are already expensive enough in real life, bro. You gotta be careful. What about you, Timothy? You got any thoughts on that? The prompt is, my beliefs about marriage have been most challenged by...
I mean, I think, David's got it right, and the joke and the easy thing to say is that it's been challenged by marriage. Which I agree with. But I will say that I started clapping in my car when I was listening to the recent Wild Dream podcast, and David, you spoke about the view that other people have of marriage who are obviously not married. I stopped my car on the side of the road and started clapping because I was so happy you brought that up. Because I know people like that too, who are not married and have a very incorrect view, which, you know, to a degree you don't want to blame them too much because they don't know, but to another degree you're like, okay, you obviously have you're unhinged. You're insane.
You're young. You're young.
Right.
You're inexperienced. You haven't
Right.
talked to a woman in a long time.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. No, but I think, you know, I don't know if I would say my view on marriage has changed through marriage, but it has just evolved. You know, it grows stronger in a certain direction. And there's certain things where I'm like, well, okay, well, he's kind of wrong about that.
Yeah. And Timothy, you know, he also knows like what I mean by the areas that we grew up in. Like when you grew up in the South, especially in the church, like you're not married by fucking 18, 19. It's too late. You better not live with that person before you marry them, because that's disgusting. You better not be with somebody dating longer than a year without proposing. Like their beliefs on marriage are like so completely different in terms of like what the expectation is for a couple to be ready to be married. And like me and Taylor just never fell into those beliefs, you know, and we you know, we're very aligned with what we thought marriage should be and what it should be for.
Chat, I'm about to do some jazzercise to this song. Oh my goodness. I see Matt. Welcome to the chat. Matt says, "Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I've been working. How is the Just Chatting going? You never have to apologize for being late. We appreciate your presence at any and all times, and it's going really well. We're having fun. We're pulling some conversation prompts and answering them. And right now we're talking about anything that has challenged your beliefs on marriage." I can see in the chat here, it hasn't changed. My main belief about marriage is that you have to be willing to grow and change with them. That still holds true, and it has evolved. I think from my perspective, I think, you know, as a non-married person, I will say I was someone who never liked the idea of marriage. And that, I think what has challenged that the most is just getting older. It's the same thing with like having children. That's something that I used to never want. And I mean, when I say used to, I mean 3 to 4 years ago. Like not super long ago. I was like, I do not ever want kids. And that is softened a little bit as I've gotten older too. I'm like, well. So I think that just getting older is the main thing that's challenged that. But I've also heard a lot of scary stuff about the, like, I guess governmental legislative side of marriage as well. So
I will add something real quick, something that I can't think of that has challenged my view on marriage through marriage, and that is building furniture with your spouse. I really just want to. People always laugh and like, oh, it's so funny to me. I'm like, no, I'm serious. Especially when you're within the first 10 years of your marriage, and you build furniture with your spouse, it's serious. It is life or death. It's tough.
Yeah. And you know what? I have a similar thing in my marriage, and I tell people this all the time when that, like, people who haven't been in like long-term relationships or like serious relationships before. I'm like, listen, if you've never like really been with somebody, you don't understand this, but I will tell you something. Here's something you can guarantee from every relationship that is legit and serious. You will fight, and I mean like fight, like serious, 100%, not joking, like yelling at each other about driving. Like you're going to do that.
Yeah.
One of you 100%. Is a bad driver. One of you is anxious. And you're going to fight over driving. It's going to happen. And people are like, no, that's fucking stupid. That's not going to happen to me. I'm like, okay, well then you go get in a real relationship, go get in a real marriage, and you will find that the things that you think that you're going to fight about, money and, you know, other people and sex and all these other things. I'm like, yeah, of course you're going to fight over those things, but you're also going to get in serious fights about driving.
100%.
I've gotten in some serious fights about driving with a bunch of friends of mine. That's funny. I can see here it says, hello, Taylor or David. I can't remember which of you Toombs is which, username-wise. Are you allowed to change that, Taylor? seriously, both of you. Are you referring to both of you are bad drivers and both of you have anxiety? I have a okay. I went ahead and pre-pulled a card. I'm trying to get better at this. My first time. I'm trying to be a good host. Here we go. Next prompt. Something that people often misunderstand about me. What is something that people often misunderstand about you guys? I'll say just off the top of my head. Also, by the way, ad break coming in 10 seconds. If you aren't subscribed, you have 10 seconds to subscribe. I definitely know that anyone that I work with thinks that I am absolutely miserable and introverted. And it's only because I am at work. There's like a common saying. It's like when people ask, what is your dream job? And you have to tell them, I don't dream of labor. That's me. There is no such thing as a dream job. I don't like working. It sucks. It fucking sucks. To the point where I remember having such an existential crisis one time at work because I was on break and I was thinking, man, I cannot wait for it to be 4:30 because that's when I get to go home. And then I started thinking, wow, we are given very limited time. Hold on. I have to, before I go into this, I see in the chat, business in the front, party in the back. Wait, not the right saying. That made me laugh. Yeah, I had this existential moment where I was going, we are given such limited time on Earth, and we should never, ever be wishing that time was moving faster or forward. That is so unbelievably horrible to think that way. And I was like, but I think that way 5 times a week. 5 times a week, I think that way.
For 40 hours a week.
For 40 hours a week. And I thought I had that existential crisis too of okay, I wake up at 6:30 a.m. every day. I get home, if I'm lucky, by 5:20. So it's not just 8 hours a day that I spend doing something that I have no interest in doing. It's even longer. And then I get home and I realize that I try to be in bed by 10:30. So the amount of time that I get to spend doing what I want to do is so small compared to the amount of time that I spend having to do something I don't want to do. And that's why I need each and every one of you guys to tell millions and millions of people to please tune into our stream. Please subscribe. Please tune into our podcast, whichever one they prefer, preferably both, so that we can do what we love to do for a living. That would be great. Anyways, I know that all of my coworkers think that I am a certain type of person and that I'm very cold and that I'm very grumpy and that I'm very... they probably assume that I don't like them, and that is not the case. And I have actually been told by coworkers while hanging out outside of work that, wow, you are so outgoing and you seem so much happier than at work. And I was like, yeah, because I'm not at fucking work. I am a very extroverted, outgoing guy, and that people don't see that. So that's what comes to mind for me. What about you guys? What do you think is something that people often misunderstand about you guys?
Oh man, I feel like my first thought is that people think that I'm an asshole, but I don't think they're misunderstanding that at all.
They're actually on track.
They hit the nail on the head.
They're actually pretty close on that, 99.9%.
Oh yeah.
I'll say this, okay? This is something that I think is misunderstood about me for not just strangers that first meet me or whatever, but even people the closest people in my life. I still think this is a misunderstanding. There's a common theme in my life that people think that I think that I know everything. That's the common thing. David thinks he knows everything. David thinks he knows everything. And the thing is that
you do.
The reason why I believe that perception of me is wrong is because in reality, I do know everything.
Right.
And-
Exactly.
And
I knew it was coming.
for those people, by the way, I just want to say I just went 22-1 with Doctor Strange with the update, and I got MVP, so I'm really still him. But
Wow.
That's right, because you know how to play him.
yeah, I'm still him, bro. Because of course I know how to play him because I know everything.
Right.
And here's what I the point that I gotta make about this. Okay, there are a lot of people in my life who have not seen me interact with or be around people that I don't think that I know everything around them or when talking with them. And I think that that's because I walk around and then people are like I know everything, and then I say yeah because I know everything. It's because I truly do feel like I am somebody who is capable of learning very easily. I can learn things and obtain information and retain information very well. It's one of the few gifts that I have in this world. And most people don't get to see me in the moments when I am obtaining and retaining that information. So when I'm getting information from people who know more than me, I'm like, oh, like this is interesting for me, and this is a better. And I'll never around those people or around in those situations act like I know more than them because I know that I don't. And then when I go around other people, they're like, well, you just think that you know everything. I'm like, well, I do know everything. I'm trying to give to you what has been given to me. And I think that the people who know me best have given up on the idea of just proving me wrong or trying to make me out to be wrong. And I think that the people who really love me and really appreciate me love the fact that I know everything. They love the fact that they can come to me and ask me, hey, how do you do these things? How do what is this all about? Like, have you heard about this? And they'll know that even if I don't know, I can go find out and I can know. And so it's it's not one of these things where I'm just overly arrogant about what my knowledge is, but I am overly arrogant about what I'm capable of learning and what knowledge I feel like I can obtain. And it's a very difficult life being a chronically depressed narcissist, because it's a life where I think that I'm better than everybody, but I hate myself. So,
That is tough. That's
The ultimate combination.
the
I'm
ultimate.
I'm better than you, but I'm a piece of shit. So
Man, what does
you
that
know,
make me?
it's tough. And so it's I think that there's that perception, but it's even in my work life, I've been very grateful, for there's not a lot of things I love about my job, as of late, but I worked in 2 different jobs prior to this job where the people who thought that I knew everything, when they started to realize that I did know everything, they resented me for it. And they hated me, and they treated me like trash. They did everything they could to make my life miserable because they hated and resented the fact that I knew more than them and that I was better at what I was doing than they were. And now I'm in a place where that's not the case at all. Nobody hates the fact that I do as good of a job as I do, or that I'm capable of what I'm capable of. They love it, and they respect it, and they admire it. So it's I get this level of validation, and then that's also why me and our sister butt heads all the time. She's the number one. David thinks he knows everything, and the reason why we butt heads about that is because Danielle thinks she knows everything. So we've butted heads for 20 plus years, 27 years about it, and we're gonna butt heads for the next.
Yeah, I
27
think
years, so.
the holy trinity is definitely you, Taylor, and Danielle. When y'all get together, it's whoa, whew. It's a lot. Me and Mom have to take a back seat and just laugh because you'll be saying something, then Danielle will say something, and then Taylor will go, actually, the way that it works at my clinic, and then it's just okay, all 3 of them think that they know each and everything about this certain topic, and then me and Mom are just chilling, talking about what we want to eat. I want to mention some chats here. So I see that Schmatt said, I feel you on that, Daniel. My coworkers have no idea what I'm like outside of work. They would probably not even recognize me because selling furniture is not my dream job. Are you kidding me?
What?
It's not? Why?
Wait, you sell furniture? Sammy builds furniture. You guys should collab.
Dude, you guys should collab. Holy shit. Yeah, Schmatt says, I'm way more outgoing when off the clock. Where's Corbin said this while you were talking about your ability to obtain and retain information. Where's Corbin said facts. Corbin, nice to see you, man. Thanks for joining the stream. This one's funny. Taylor does say, yes, you are very knowledgeable. You are intelligent, but you are not right about everything. Sorry, guys. Husband and wife fight. XOXO.
See, this is where I'm saying that's where the misconception comes in, because people think that I'm not right about everything, but I am. Like, that's like a misconception that they're getting wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which they wouldn't know because I'm right.
Oh, of course, of course. I see too. Taylor said she's struggling to think about how to answer this question. She says, "Do y'all have anything that y'all misinterpreted about me? Because the only thing that she can think of is her resting bitch face."
I mean, she does have a pretty gnarly resting bitch face. Not gonna lie.
She's like, everyone thinks that I like coffee. I actually hate that shit.
Finally, we get the truth.
Oh, wow. Schmatt says he also suffers from being right about everything. Timothy, do you have anything that you think people misunderstand about you?
My massive feet being... No, I'm
That's a good answer, though.
People misunderstand about me.
Oh, you know what? I have an addition. If you... As someone who has played sports since I was a 4-year-old, people think that I can't play sports because I'm built like the fucking Pillsbury Doughboy. I'm actually really, really talented at athletic endeavors. I'm a very athletic person, and I can pick up pretty much any and every sport that you throw at me. I'm very, very sporty. And it always shocks people. Like, they're always like, damn, this guy can actually hoop. This guy can really play volleyball. I was in badminton club in college. I was on varsity soccer team. I was on the football team. I play volleyball right now. I played tennis after college. I won an ultimate frisbee tournament. I could keep going. I'm really, really good at just picking up sports and being able to play them well. And yeah, I remember playing against teams in high school when we would play actual competitive soccer, and they would just, oh, okay, cool, I got the fat kid, and then I would cook their ass. It was awesome. And I've had some people actually tell me holy shit, I didn't know that you were actually going to do anything.
This man can throw down.
Which I really loved, because I was like, hell yeah, I get easy defense to go against. Croquette? Question mark?
Okay.
Croquet?
Croquet.
Isn't a croquette is a pastry, isn't it, or like a food, and then a croquet is the sport?
I don't know about that.
Croquet is a sport. It's it's like golf, but with a mallet. Right? Am I thinking of the right sport?
Yeah, you are.
Probably. I know that there's also
real quick, I'm gonna switch over to my PlayStation.
Oh, PlayStation guy. Okay. Well, yeah. Feel free to join us when you are.
Yeah, because I got Lord. It only took me 2 hours.
Nice.
I'm joking, obviously.
Oh yeah, croquette is a dish. It is a deep fried roll. It has filling, which is breaded. And it's usually a thick bechamel sauce, mashed potatoes, or wheat bread. It's like a crispy potato dish. That sounds good.
Yummy.
I need to get me a croquette. What's misunderstood about you, Timothy?
You tell me. I don't know if I'd say it's necessarily misunderstood more than it's maybe a little over-exaggerated. That I'm extremely passive. I mean, I am extremely passive. But when I think when people know me a little bit more and they learn that I struggle with, anger and feeling angry often, they're always like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, I really do. And obviously I overcompensate for that anger by being extremely passive to a point where it becomes a problem. So I think maybe that's something that's misunderstood, that people don't realize that oftentimes I'm boiling under the seams and I'm just overcompensating so much that I'm like, I don't care if you hit my car. It's okay. I'm like, I know where you live.
Yeah, sorry, is my audio like way worse? Just curious.
Yeah.
No, you're okay. You're a little fuzzy.
It's way worse. Okay, cool. Love that. PlayStation audio, am I right? But yeah, I was just gonna say that for Timothy, I think that something that happened a lot in college was that people forgot or just didn't understand the significance of being homeschooled your whole life and what that means. Because even I, couldn't appreciate or understand the fact that you weren't communicating with people your age in a social inappropriate setting for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And that means that when you went to college, it was the first time you had to do that all the time, and people were like, "Oh, this guy's an asshole," or "He's being a prick,"
I mean, I
or
was
"He's
sometimes.
whatever." But at the same
Yeah.
time, it was like, "Oh, he doesn't know how to talk to people," and not in like calling you out or anything like that, but it was just like, yeah, no, it's something he did have to learn
Mhm.
and grow as a person, and I wasn't patient with it. I mean, hell, I'm the one who beat him up. But
That's true. A great moment.
then there were
Fantastic
other people
moment.
that were like, "Oh, I'm never talking to this guy again." And I'm just like, well, he's got to learn one way or the other.
Yeah.
He either gets beat up, like I did. And I taught him a very valuable lesson,
Some people need to be beat up. Can I say that?
and then other people were like, "No, I'm just not going to talk to him ever again."
So
I'm
some
like,
people
"Oh,
need to be
well,
humbled
that's
for
not
sure.
fair."
Yeah. Every now and then, I know somebody who, and I won't get into too many details, who has a family member they were telling me about, and it's a very long, very I wouldn't say troubled, but they're a spoiled child. And I looked at him and I said they need to be humbled. And like, oh, you mean like they need to like lose their money? I'm like, no, they need to be humbled in a physical sense. Somebody needs to step in and correct this, please. Thankfully, it's not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, hey, whatever the method is, as long as it's needed and respectful,
Gotta happen.
it's got to happen. I see here it says some of the chat here. It says, you know what? Taylor thought of something. She said, you know what? People don't know how bad my language gets until we are close. That's a good answer.
I've corrupted her.
I see Schmatt said the sport. I'm throwing it at you, athlete. Well, guess what? I'm catching it. I'm running and I'm scoring a touchdown. It's a it's a tomb. I was about to say. Taylor also says what you were talking about with your communication, learning about communication. Timothy, she said it does really make communication very difficult. I missed my high school years to homeschool. Let's see here. Matt says, please, someone beat me up. You know who I want to beat me up? This new fucking Marvel
I know a
Rivals
guy.
character, bro. What's her name? Emma Frost, bro. She can beat my ass any day. Also, shout out to Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil 8. She can beat me up any day. Otto Bell says, honey, what is a misconception about me? That's a question for you, Timothy.
That she's white.
Yeah, she's white. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, even David knows. Yeah. That's it. I got nothing else.
Oh, here's a good one. All right. We're still hanging out. We're still talking. Feel free to participate in any of these questions, chat. And then
Or pose
also,
your own question if there's something you're curious about.
yeah, or ask a question. Yeah, if you guys have a prompt, we can all answer it. Taylor says Rhea Ripley can beat my ass any day.
Who is Rhea
Here we
Ripley?
go.
I don't know who that is.
She's a wrestler right now. She's a goth mommy wrestler.
Interesting.
Oh, you know what? I do know who you're talking about. She's like a 95 overall in the WWE game.
I am not a fan of hers. I do not see the hype.
Producers,
I
can we
think she's
get
pretty
can
good at
we
wrestling.
Google Rhea Ripley, please? Yeah, I'm on it. All right, cool.
You need a photo in the Discord?
I am. Oh, that is okay. Not
There
my
you go.
type.
Yep.
Not my type.
Yeah.
She looks a lot like the lead singer of a lot of bands that I enjoy, though. All
That's
right.
a good way of putting it.
Oh, we get some questions in the chat. So I'm not gonna do this card yet. Here we go. If you died and your friends were summoning you from the dead to say hi, what 3 totems would they use to summon you?
Oh, I feel like I have to answer this for Timothy. Timothy has to answer it for me. We have to answer it for you.
That's a good question.
David, something Spider-Man related.
Yeah.
At this point in time, it's become more than an obsession. It's a part of your identity.
Well, you know what though? I was telling Taylor about this. I did request. Last year we did a nostalgia themed birthday party for me, and I told her, I said, this year I want to do the same thing, and I want to redo my 6th birthday party and do a Spider-Man themed birthday party. Anyways, and I was like,
Ooh.
if Daniel hasn't seen the Spider-Man movies by then, he will be forced to do a Spider-Man movie marathon.
Yeah, maybe I should. Nah, never mind. I was about to say something
Because-
insane, but I was gonna say like, oh, we should do a home video stream, but then I was like, that would require a consent from a lot of people. That's too much work to reach
Yeah.
out to everybody.
But yeah, I think that for Timothy, okay, so for Timothy, the first thing I would probably do is his mirrorless camera Lego build. So that's
Fair.
one. And then the next thing would probably be I don't know. I feel like I was gonna say one of the dogs, but I guess that's not an item.
Mm-mm.
It's a thing. The next thing, you know, I've always thought if Timothy ever got a film-themed tattoo, it would just be an SD card.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I just think that that's funny, and I think that it's very him. So yeah, we would get what you know those SD cards that are like super high quality that they're not called SD cards anymore, and then if you call them an SD card, people call you a pleb
CFast?
for not. Yeah, CFast card. That's one.
He knew.
You knew exactly what I was talking
Immediately
about. And I guess a cum sock, yeah, but one of like mine.
Yeah, easy.
I know that the games were supposed to kind of answer for each other, but I mean, off rip, I would say a basketball for myself. I would say a basketball, a piece of pizza, and either a skull or a piano. This here, let's see. In the chat, we said Scorpio Mushroom says for Daniel, I would use maybe like an Incubus song, a great cup of coffee or a latte, and maybe something in nature. Let's see. Taylor says my Twilight novel, my Owl City stuffed owl, and a caramel latte from my favorite coffee shop, which is Lost Coffee. And then to clarify on something in nature, Scorpio Mushroom says it's like some ocean water. Let's see. Oh, Schmatt
Ocean
says
water, the drink from Sonic.
Yeah, the
Yeah, no
drink from
shot.
Sonic, of course.
No, sure. I'm telling you right now, if you don't bring a slice of pizza for Dan, he's not showing up. I promise you.
Yeah, for me it would be Guy Fieri memorabilia. Starting off with it. Let's see. Schmatt
Maybe
says
a microphone for
Oh,
Dan
that's
too, just in general.
we'll save that for the next question, and then let's see. Oh, Audibel says his cowboy hat. He goes everywhere with it now. Is that true, Timothy?
Oh yeah, because
I
he doesn't
do
want to
go
get
everywhere.
sunburned.
And here's the thing, I have two. I have a straw one that you're supposed to wear in the summer, and a felt one that you're supposed to wear in the winter. I wear the felt one, and it's been getting pretty hot out here because I think it looks better on me.
Damn,
I'll suffer.
cowboy hats go hard, man. What about like a transformer or something?
You know,
I was thinking about that.
You know, I have a decently like medium-sized collection, but I don't have any that I grew up with that were really special to me. I think for me, Transformers has always been just special to me as a franchise beyond the toys. So yeah, I have some of the toys and I like them, but I can't think of any one that would work as a totem.
Yeah, you'd have to bring my my 4K double feature Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse set. Okay, I own both of them on 4K.
What are you gonna do when the third one comes out?
Dude, I've honestly asked myself that question, but I know the
If it
movie
ever
the
comes
movie
out.
itself is not coming out till 2027. So I'm
I was
like,
gonna say.
I
if
got
it
time
ever
to figure it out.
comes
But I was like, man, am I gonna have to buy the triple feature, or do I just have
Yes.
an extra one on the side? Like,
No, you will
Yeah.
buy it. You will.
yeah, and I think that for myself, you'd also have to bring my Sony, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's fair.
It's my ride or die,
Mhm.
and then
Good answer.
something computer related, some like whether it's a actual PC or just bring a graphics card. I'll show up.
That's
Bring
smart.
bring me your PC part picker list, and I'll judge it.
From the dead.
Yeah, your wife says that she would bring your, or I guess our grandpa's Christmas ornaments, your Sony, which you did just say, nice, good timing, and your copy of Short Term 12. I'm also
I do have
remembering,
short-term control, yeah.
I'm remembering, Gabby, that we played this game with each other at dinner in Portland, and I think I did say almost exactly what I said. I think I said basketball, pizza, and something. Let me catch up here on chat. Oh, let's go ahead and Audibel says Timothy wants DWJ. What does that mean?
So that's not an item. That's a person. That's a comic book artist. So that doesn't really count because that's a person. People are not items, Elizabeth.
People are not objects.
We got rid of that years ago. You should know you're a woman.
Here's the next question. You ready? So Schmat asks, would you rather teleport to New York and then have diarrhea for an hour and then die, or
Wait. Say it again. Wait, start over.
no? I got you.
Please.
This guy's a real fan, bro.
He is a real fan. Would you rather? I really do wish Mo was here. Would you rather teleport to New York and then have diarrhea for an hour and then die, or would you rather live forever as the king of the universe? Scorpio Mushroom says, I have diarrhea regardless.
Yeah, New York. That's easy. New York.
New York.
That's an easy New York for me.
That's the easiest one ever. Please, better question next time.
That is a
Bro, where
callback
is
to our
Mo?
most recent Phasmophobia stream on YouTube, if you want to go watch it.
Or text Mo, just tell him to get in Discord right now.
Honestly, Mo is such an old man. I'll be like, hey, I'll have to like call him or text him and say, we are live if you want to come hang out. And he's like, oh yeah, I might stop by.
Yeah.
But he's like, if I post on Instagram or anything, he'll just forget he saw my story. All right, I got one. Here we go. New York, baby. Hey. Ad break coming in 2.5 minutes. If you are not subscribed, now's your chance. Here we go. Next prompt. The most expensive date that I've ever been on.
Does my honeymoon count?
No.
Okay.
Neither does your wedding. It didn't count.
Yeah, that's not a date. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Me and Taylor have been on some really fancy dates, man.
Mhm.
We've been we got to a point when it comes to like anniversaries and stuff that we just decided that experiences were more valuable to us than presents. So we don't really get each other gifts for that stuff anymore. Instead, we just put our money together and do something really nice. And so I've been to dinners that cost $300. I've been to dinners where they charge me for water. So I've been to some fancy fucking dinners, man.
Yeah.
And then of course, we've been to Salem too, and everything is expensive as fuck up in Massachusetts. But again, that's vacation, so I don't know if that counts as a date either. But we went on several dates out there, in a way. But yeah, I got no shame in saying I have spent some mad buku bucks on my lady.
Yeah. What about you, Timothy?
I can't. I'll be real with you. If it's got a dollar sign on it, I'm not aware of it. So I'm gonna have to let.
Yeah, let your sugar mama
in the
answer this
chat.
question.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
your
have to let
sugar mama
Elizabeth
answer. Audibel, what's the
So-
most expensive date you and Timothy have had? I know that mine, I'm pretty sure this would be the actual truth, is that mine was a rooftop dinner in Chicago at a Oh my God, this beat goes hard. I'm finna freestyle, guys. This rooftop dinner in Chicago. It was at a restaurant called Abba, and it is, I think, to this day the best meal I've ever had, and it is my favorite restaurant, really. Every single bite was just incredible, and yeah, I took my ex there for dinner in 2018, 2019, one of those years, and 2019 actually, and it was a blast. And I've been thinking about wanting to go back. I really do want to go back. I want to go back to Chicago really bad, but I really want to go with my family because there's a lot of stuff that I think that they would have a good time with, and just like really touristy stuff, but in a good way and fun way. And then the food out there is just so incredible that we'd all enjoy it. And getting a hotel or something on the river would be so cool. But yeah, shout out to Abba in Chicago. You guys should Google it. It is like there's like a massive tree growing through the middle of the restaurant. It's a beautiful spot.
You know, I was just thinking about this too. I've been trying to convince Taylor / telling Taylor that we need to go to Vegas together, especially because we're not party people. We're not like go to the club. I mean, Taylor goes to the club once every
Go to the club.
Quarter. But we're not like party people. We're not heavy drinkers. We're not really gamblers. Not whatever. And I was like, tell her all the time, like Vegas is just the entertainment capital of the world. Like, yeah, it's Sin City, but it's also like everything there is fun. You can do a ton of fun shit without gambling, without doing whatever. And now that I think about it more, I'm like, you know what? We need to do a couple trip, and we need to do. And Timothy needs to take Liz to Vegas too, because Timothy needs a Vegas do-over, a redo.
Yeah, that's a
he
whole
owes
stream
himself.
story on itself.
Yeah, he owes himself that I went to Vegas on Taylor's 21st birthday. I was in Vegas. Yeah, so that the reason why that's relevant to this question is when we go to Vegas, Taylor and I will be going to Hell's Kitchen because we're huge Gordon Ramsay fans, and that will probably end up being the most expensive date.
Yeah, I can see Taylor said in the chat mentions Ocean Prime for New Year's as an expensive date.
Yep,
fancy
Capital
as
Grille.
fuck and good as fuck. That's what's most important. It would suck to spend a lot of money for something bad. So you gotta love it when it actually is good. And then Schmat says most expensive date was Hawaii and it was worth it. Wait, what was the date? If you don't mind sharing details. That sounds dope. A date
We
in
would like
Hawaii
every
sounds
single little detail.
Did you
about
hit?
it, please.
every single
hit?
detail.
Yeah.
That sounds like a dream date, to be honest. Oh, and yeah, Taylor says it's gonna be Hell's Kitchen soon. That's what y'all's most expensive date is gonna be. Autobell says, "Fuck Vegas."
What?
What?
She's very anti-Vegas for some reason. I'm sure, guys.
Autobell,
I'm good,
I am
man.
right there with you. I have zero desire to go back to that city. I hate Vegas.
But you know what? If you got, that's why you got to come with friends and friends that know how to have a good time without doing all the bad shit. Because there's so much fun shit out there.
Audubell also needs to answer what the most.
I just don't like
expensive date
I don't like the weather of the city, and I don't like the smell of the city. And I mean,
that's actually very fair though.
it was a disgusting
Yeah.
place. I hate Vegas.
I will say, yeah, that is one of the
Yes.
worst parts about Vegas. It fucking reeks. The Uber drivers smoke in their cars while
Yes,
picking people
yeah.
up. Like it's the city is a cigarette. Like
Mhm.
that, I'll give you.
Yeah, Autobell says
it's
I don't like
fun.
fancy things, so we don't spend a crazy amount of money.
Interesting. Interesting. She would say that. Very interesting. Can we,
Very.
chat? Can we clip that? Can we clip that, chat? Can we clip that and can you send it to deltatryonyoutube@gmail.com, please?
Chat, you heard the
just in
man.
case. Just in case.
Make it happen. All right.
Well, I can think of the most expensive gift I've gotten her, but that's,
Okay. Are you
and
gonna
no,
share?
it's not. It's not. It's actually
My
funny.
peanuts. Sorry.
It's not.
my peanuts.
No,
My peanuts.
It's not. It's not an engagement ring because this thing that I got her cost more than her engagement ring, and it was It was one Christmas. I got her the $400 Lego castle set. And that was more than her engagement ring. Guys, I'm here all
Golly.
night.
The Taylor's engagement ring was free, so yeah.
That's fair. Hers was from Etsy. It was cheap. Got the job done.
For real. For anybody out there who legit, bro, Kyler asked us when he was going to propose to his girlfriend, which shout out to Kyler. Congratulations on the
Congratulations,
engagement.
Kyler.
But, he reached out to me and Timothy. He's like, what did you guys do about the ring? Like, where did you go? And how much money did you spend? All this stuff. I'm like, brother, you were asking the two absolute worst people. We had really good relationships with people who we had already talked about marriage with a lot, and we weren't worried about the answer. And yeah, my ring was free, and like Timothy said, his was on Etsy. I was like, we ain't the ones gonna tell you like it's 3% of your salary next foot. No, we don't give a. Like,
I told him not to.
we told him not. We were like, dude, honestly, you might be better off just getting her like a gift that says, "Will you marry me?" Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck
even-
diamonds.
I see here that Audibel says that y'all had a date into Plano where y'all ended up spending $1,500 on a fucking PC.
Technically, so hold on a second. It was not a date because I did it alone. She was with my sister looking at my sister's wedding dress, and I went, and I'll have you know that I spent $1,700. But she was not there with me, so it was not a date. Didn't count.
He's contesting that. I see Matt says the Hawaii date was an anniversary. It was a beachfront lodging and amazing food. It's hard to describe it outside of a novel, but he says the trip as a whole made it the most expensive date. Audibel says Lego.
Well,
Or
then
is
my-
it-
then my
is that
honeymoon
Lego or
counts.
Lego?
It is probably Lego, most that we spent on.
Taylor says I've been wanting to get a new one in my old age. A new what? Sorry, we were yapping.
New engagement ring.
Oh, okay. Audibel says we were supposed to go together. He tricked me.
No, I dumped her with my sister. I was like, she's yours now.
That's crazy. Let's see if I can find another one for us. There's a very large chunk of these cards that are pretty explicitly about sex.
Ew.
So I'm trying to get through those.
That's fine. I'm just kidding.
We're not scared. I'm scared.
I'm gonna get demonetized on YouTube because we make so much money off of that YouTube channel that we have that we post all these things onto.
Let's see.
Timothy, when are you gonna take over the Wild Dream Stream YouTube channel? Edit all of our 4-hour streams down to 5 minutes. And...
When I have free time, which is never.
that
'cause
means
I'm always-
never.
Yeah, because I'm actually always here with you guys.
I prefer it this way.
Matt says, "Ask me about sex." Sex? Question mark.
Yeah, Matt.
Like that?
Sex?
Matt, sex?
Actually, I'll tag it. Matt, sex. Am I right?
Hey.
All right. How about this one? This one is the prompt is I am proud that I stood up for myself when.
You know,
That
in-
first part's
in-
really tough. I'm proud.
yeah. I'll say this. I am under a contractual obligation to not discuss this in detail, but I did stand up for myself in a workplace environment in which I ended up no longer being able to work in that place anymore, but it was better that I did that than stayed there. And that's about as much detail as I can go into publicly because I signed something that said, "Don't tell anyone you signed this." But yeah, I mean, I've done it again since, and yeah, even when I stood up for myself and demanding a raise from a company that ended up doing mass layoffs, a month later. I'm proud of myself for doing so, knowing my worth and demanding my worth. Um, but yeah, and then other than that, I've always stood up for myself, like growing up.
Yeah, I know the exact situation you're talking about, obviously, and yeah, you did great in that situation.
And Daniel, you didn't sign the NDA, so you can tell us.
Oh yeah, so
So
It did say that I can tell immediate family, but and Daniel's in my immediate family. I know.
oh shit, yeah, David created the iPhone. There,
Whoa!
there.
Yeah.
Wasn't supposed to tell
Steve
anybody,
Wozniak's a fucking bitch,
but
bro.
it became a whole thing, and like he
became a
said,
whole
she
thing.
said, they said, even we're
The
woke.
iPhone became a whole thing.
But yeah, the iPhone became a whole thing.
Just like
Wild to
it
say.
really started taking off.
Yeah.
But it's like whatever.
It's been getting really popular.
If y'all
Have you
haven't
heard about
heard of
it?
one
Have you
before,
heard about it?
It's kind of like an Android
Yeah.
type phone.
You probably haven't heard about it.
Um, I wait. What was the question?
That time you were proud you stood up for yourself.
I think honestly, pretty recently. I'll be as vague as possible intentionally, but very recently, I decided that I was not getting treated like I should be, and in spite of the fear of losing this person, I was like, hey, I deserve to get treated better. I'm cutting this off. So that's something I would not have done in the past because of, I guess, trauma and abandonment issues and attachment issues. But I was like, I know my self-worth. I deserve better. So I'm proud of myself for standing up instead of accepting it and questioning, oh, maybe I deserve this. Maybe maybe I'm being too this. Maybe I'm being too that. And then it's like, no, I'm just being a normal person who deserves love and respect and reciprocation of the energy that I put into someone. So I'm glad that I did that. That is not something I would have done in the past. I've always had an issue with that.
Yeah. I mean, there was also a time, when I was a kid that there was this really, really mean and awful, awful bully who lived like just down the street from us who was hitting me with this foam sword. And I punched him in the face.
Man,
And I'm really, really glad that I did that. I was very proud of that and can't wait to do it again. Nasty kid. Nasty boy.
He's a nasty guy.
In fact, so nasty, we're going to give out his address right here on stream. Go ahead.
It was
1, 2, 3,
He lives in
4,
Texas. I
5.
can tell you that much.
Drive.
And you guys, and trust me, viewers, you know him very well. You know him
Yeah.
very well.
I'll just say this. You know him very, very well.
We'll just say that. We'll say
Viewers.
you know Mo. Oh wait.
Whoa,
Let's see. Schmatt says. Oh wait, hold on. Let me catch up a little bit more here. Taylor said, I stood up to some people very close to me when I was a teenager. Meant to delete that because it's not true. I rethought that. That's funny. You took it back immediately. Schmatt says,
I love Taylor to death, but she has never stood up for herself a day in her life, and I will always be there for her
hey, let's go.
to be her rug.
Let's go. Schmatt says to Dave, it sucks that you lost out on the iPhone, but at least you get to be right about everything.
Well, I was right about the iPhone. They were like, this thing's never gonna fucking take off.
Look what you did.
Dumb
Look what you
piece
did,
of
man.
shit. And I
They
was
were like, dude, getting on the
um,
internet on your phone, that makes no sense.
They said, there's a thing called the computer. Why would anyone want that in their
Yeah.
pocket?
They were like, phones are for calling, idiot.
They kept saying it's gonna be massive. I said, no, I'm pretty sure we could get it down. They were like, no. And look who was right.
I hate to see it. Let's see. Taylor says, I can't discuss the situations I'm thinking of, but I stood up to an ex-boss recently, and the payoff was 10 out of 10, and I'm so happy with where I am now. I'm an insider informant on this one as well, and I know what you're talking about, and yes, you handled that so unbelievably well, and I'm very proud of you. Audibel
I know that
says,
one too.
I am proud that I stood up for myself in school when I was friends with a special needs kid, and everyone would bully and make fun of me because of it. I stood up in class one day and cussed all those people out. I fucking hate people who make fun of someone who has special needs. I was a super shy person and it was easy to bully me, so I was proud that I stood up for myself and others. And this was senior year of high school, by the way. Yeah, shout out.
Big dog over here.
You know
Big
what though?
schlong dog.
Liz, I'll say this: Liz would always have an easier time standing up for someone else than herself. Like she'll be very quiet, for herself. But then if when it comes to her friends, her family, then she's really tough.
Yeah,
She's a fighter.
I'm pretty similar. I definitely have a lot easier of a time standing up for other people. I mean, I tried to find a kid in the halls of my high school and fight him.
I knew this story was coming out
because he posted on Twitter making fun of my sister. I saw it while I was in class, started hitting him and his older brother up on Twitter saying, "Hey, I'll fight the both of your bitch asses, by the way, if y'all want to make
it was also
to that."
his sister did attack our sister as well, so it was more than just
Oh,
Twitter
really?
fingers.
Um,
Yeah, his that's.
are you
the
sure?
reason
I don't
why
think
he
they were
was-
related.
I thought that they were.
No.
Getting some deep lore.
Oh, well, they were definitely. That was the reason why.
They were probably
he
buddies,
calls
but
her
yeah,
or whatever.
he posted making fun of my sister. So I was hitting him up, telling him, "Hey, find me right after this period, man. I'm about to beat your fucking ass." And then as soon as the bell rang, I went into the halls and I was shouting his name to everyone in school in the halls, going, "Where the fuck is blank, blank, blank?"
It's like,
And I was trying to fight him. And then my mom was texting me the whole time and telling me, "Son, you are 18 years old. This boy you're trying to fight is younger than 18. You can get in trouble legally with actual police involved now because you are old." Giving me great advice, going, "Chill the fuck out."
Okay, and wait until after school when no one's around.
I wait till after school. That was a big thing, and it is kind of embarrassing to think. Obviously, yes, I'm gonna stand up for my sister, but really trying to fight people, you know what I'm saying? You gotta calm down. That's just hothead 18-year-old, hormones shit.
What's funny is that same person who was bullying Danielle tried to bully me after we graduated high school because they had posted on Twitter a clip of a video that I made in freshman year of high school, and it was a lip sync video to a rap song and it was very cringe because two white kids, lip syncing to a rap song, and she was making fun of me for it on Twitter, and I responded to her and I said, "This was part of an assignment for our, student film course." And I was like, I've actually been accepted and been participating in film festivals at 17 years old since that time, and I aced this assignment. You guys failed this assignment because you don't know how to do green screen. And then I posted a picture of their video where the green screen, you can still see it, and it's just black because they didn't know how to put anything to replace
they
the
didn't
green
know how to
screen.
key it.
They didn't know how to key it. I was like, you guys failed the assignment.
Yeah.
This is cringe for me, but at least I passed.
That's funny.
You failed a pass-fail class. How embarrassing is that?
Yeah, it's funny though. I had a really cool moment with that because I remember, the end of that situation. It was that kid's older brother who was in my grade and was my age, was like, "Hey man," and we played sports together and we always got along. And he was like, "Hey, you got to chill out. Stop talking about beating my little brother's ass." And I was like, "Hey, he talks shit about my sister. That's fucked up. I'm going to beat his ass." And he's like, and he goes, "Cool. Well, I'm going to beat your ass then because you're trying to beat up my little brother." And I was like, "Damn, fair." I'm just like, wait a minute. And it's kind of like this snake that eats its own tail. And I'm like, yeah, that's violence for you. Let's see. Okay, Sue P says, first of all, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you for hanging out with us. Okay, Sue P says, wait, who? I will not say the names. Obviously, especially because it's a really silly story. The more you think back on it, it's just high school kids being high school kids. I'm old now, man. I'm wise. I'm like an owl. Matt says, I would have fought anyone for my sisters. Yeah, same. In fact, I fought a lot
including my sister.
including my sister. I fought a lot of people for messing with my siblings growing up. But
Oh yeah, dude. We listen. We moved around a lot.
We moved
and
around a lot.
We were poor kids who, you know, experienced violence too early in our life, that felt the need to establish. Like we walked into every new school like it was a fucking prison. We were like, all right, let's beat everybody up, and so they know we're the big kids, and you know they can't mess with us, whatever. And it was like, you know, there's a kid, and he also has an older brother. Me and Dan are both. We're gonna beat up him and his older brother. And yeah, it just like it was like
survival.
it was literally one of those things where like when we like started really going to school in like the suburbs, and the first fight I got in, people around me were freaking the fuck out, like I just stabbed a kid in the middle of the school because I punched him in the face a couple of times, and I was like, I thought this is what you do. Like it was like a shell shock thing. I was like, oh, because it was like we were going to schools where people fought too. You know, it wasn't like, you know, like we were the only kids fighting, but like it was really weird to be like the first time I fought, you know, in fucking, you know, the white ass town that we grew up in. You know, for the rest of the time everyone was freaking out. I was like, oh. But he bumped into me, so like I had to fight him.
I had to fight him. That's how it
don't
works.
do that.
That's how it works, dude.
So
Yeah, Timothy.
glad we grew out of that.
Have you ever stood up for yourself, and are you proud of yourself?
Never. No to both. Absolutely not.
Your tone of voice, dude. You said no.
Disgusting
never.
question.
Ew.
Um,
Ew.
I can think of a time when I where I stood up in a situation. I wouldn't say I was being bullied or anything, but I was just kind of I was cornered in a moment where I was like, I'm not sure what to do, and that's when I lost my previous job that I used to have, and there were certain things that I needed to hand over to my former employer, like passwords. This is actually about passwords, and it was obvious to me that, you know, I was not happy with the situation, but I didn't want any more trouble than there already was. So I like, yep, here's all the passwords, here's everything you need. You know, I just want to be done with this. And it was very obvious that the people who were in charge, who got those passwords, did not know how to use a password. Because
That's how it goes.
Yes, and they were like, "Where's the Adobe password?" I'm like, "Did you look under A for Adobe?" And they were like, "Is that where it would be?" And I'm like, that's how you spell it." And so for a little context, the legal reason why I was let go was, quote unquote, it just didn't work out. I know the reason why, but legally that's what they said. Anyways, after probably 4 or 5 days of this person constantly texting and emailing me, Timothy, you have to give us this password or else. You sign this paperwork. There's going to be legal trouble. Finally, after so long of it, I just texted them back and said, it just didn't work out, and let them go.
Mic
And
drop.
I never heard from them again. And it was such a powerful moment of, you don't even know how to find a password. It
Like, you
really did not
motherfuckers
work
needed
out.
me more than I
Yeah.
needed you.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, dude. I left
That's
a job.
badass.
I got fired from a job while on a trip with the job Timothy is talking about
Yes.
when we were, you know, much younger,
Yeah.
in which there was nobody above me in that job than the owner of the company. Like that's how, you know, whatever. And they didn't know shit about their entire business. And when I left them, I took down their website and their Facebook page and
Did you do
their
something to
Instagram and all
the
stuff.
vending machine too?
Oh yeah, I completely removed all the codes from the vending machine so that
Yeah,
because I had fucking became essentially a full-time vending machine technician
Yes.
for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
And I had removed all of the coding from the vending machine so that it worked properly unless you recoded the entire thing from scratch, and which I did. I was like, yeah, all right. Well, if I'm gone, then everything I did for this place is gone too. I also deleted all the reports in their system. So like I created reports so you can just run it and then get really important information about the business. And I deleted my reports. I'm like, yeah, you guys can figure out how to make those and why they were so valuable.
It's proprietary information, and it's your proprietary information.
Yeah,
Take
I
a
was like, they
break.
didn't make me sign shit. They didn't make me
Yeah.
do. They didn't understand how much control I had over that business. So
That's
they were just
smart.
fucking stupid. And guess what? That business has since been sold because they couldn't fucking
Mhm.
run it.
Ayo.
See, I wish, on a very selfish personal side, part of me wish I did something like that with my previous employer. But the very big important thing is that my true the true friction and disdain is with the people in charge, not the people within that organization. So I was like,
Oh yeah.
I could do a lot of damage to this one particular person that I really do not like, but the other people who have no skin in this side of the game would suffer because of it. And so I just have to, it's not worth it. Which I wish that wasn't the case, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I see Matt.
Yeah.
Matt in the chat says, I stared down 10 dudes in a club once. One guy was Snapchatting or something and shoving the flash in my eyes. Naturally, I turned on my flashlight on my phone and blinded his ass. His table all turns, ready to jump me, and a guy even ripped my glasses from my face. I didn't budge an inch. I told the main guy that his homie had me fucked up for that shit. Main guy makes someone pick up my glasses, and I felt kind of proud in that moment. Woo!
Matt is the monkey man.
Matt's the monkey man, dude.
Matt's
Matt
the
is
monkey
the
man.
monkey man.
Dude, that's woo. Yeah, you're brave for that. 10 guys. I would have said sorry.
I'm
My
sorry.
at least for myself, I guess. Obviously if it was someone else, even like the most recent fight I've ever been in was standing up for my friend, who got assaulted. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to stand up for other people. That's the way I'm wired, but it's kind of hard to stand up for yourself sometimes. So shout out to all of us for having moments where we've done that. And also, Dave, I'm taking notes on leaving a job like that. That's badass. You guys both have stories of like letting a company see how fucked they are now that you're gone. I should have done that, dude. Like, I remember a bar I walked out of and we had a really ugly breakup, and I made their entire music playlist for the bar that played. And anytime I went back to visit, because I still had a bunch of friends that worked there, obviously, I would hear the music playing, and I never thought to go, hey, fucking, that's mine. No. I should have deleted that playlist. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
you
tell you
guys are
this,
smart.
man. At our current job, there was a time where I was getting ready to ask for a raise, and I had spent the month leading up to that working like everyone else who worked with us, who worked with me. I'm like, yeah, like you guys are paying me the same amount of money as you're paying all of them. And then I was like, here's my work, and they were like, it's still a lot. I was like, yep, that is me unmotivated. Imagine if I were motivated. They were like, fair enough. I was like, yeah. And I remember that when I went into that meeting, I had a list of every single thing I had accomplished. And I was basically like, listen, man, a couple months ago, you guys got on your hands and knees and begged me to come to this department, and I fucking saved it. I saved this department from collapse in a matter of 60 days. So pay me money now, please.
Money,
me.
please. Yeah,
And I
shout
did-
out, man. Yeah, Matt says in the chat about that club incident that he was ready to accept his fate and fuck up as many people as he could before waking up in a hospital. That's how it is sometimes.
Yeah,
Um,
sometimes it's
yeah.
your time.
Yeah, as long as you're not in Russia. I don't know if you guys ever seen videos of people
true.
fighting in Russia.
Yeah, I'm good on
But,
that.
You don't go to a
in-
hospital.
Yeah, in America, when a people get in a fight, usually either one group pulls the other group off, or someone goes unconscious and then the other group walks away. In Russia, when you go unconscious, that's when they stomp your skull into the fucking concrete while you're unconscious until you can't, breathe anymore.
Yeah, so you have to breathe through a straw.
Yeah, it's brutal, dude. The place is a fucking hellscape.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most important thing. Obviously, like, moments like that, it's important to discern actual risk and reward. Sometimes the best way to stand up for yourself is to make the smartest decision, because in today's America, you have no idea what weapons might, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're in that mode, you're thinking, caveman, me beat man's ass. You're not thinking any of these people could have a fucking gun on them.
I have stick. He
Well,
has
you know
gun.
what? As somebody who more often than not does have a gun on them, I will say I also have to think about it the other way too. If we get in this fight, am I prepared to defend my life with another person's life?
Yeah.
And if I'm
Yeah.
not, then it's time to exit this situation, which is what happened with the fucking guy at the Silent Night thing.
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? Like, this is implications for me and my brother and, whatever. It's like not worth, to watch a shitty fucking movie.
Yeah, movie sucked. We
Um,
got lucky. The movie really
But
sucked.
but it's like that person is like that person's the insane person. Because I'm like, because if
Yeah.
he actually did come at me, it's like, well, usually I have to take that risk reward. And I'm like, well, if the risk is him hurting me and my brother, and potentially if he has a weapon or whatever, then yeah, I'm going to go to the nth degree for protection. And I felt better about that. So it's like I'm grateful that we walked away from that situation when we did, but also that guy doesn't know how close he was to seeing his last day. You know what I'm saying? Like if he had actually fucking came out, like lunged at us or grabbed us or anything like that. Like
Yeah, man, you gotta be careful out there. I've left my physical violence days behind me, man. I'm an old man now. I'm just trying to hang out and get along with people. I see Matt says in the chat it's important to
Unless I
stand
see
up.
Nico Harrison, then
Oh
then-
yeah, it's on site with Nico Harrison. I'm beating his fucking ass. Fire Nico emotes in the chat, please. Matt says it's important to stand up for yourself. It's a part of growth. I agree. I'm trying to learn more and more every day. Here's our next prompt. You guys ready for this? It said I'm curious about this one. This is a good question. Oh hell yeah! I see my Fire Nikos. That's what I'm talking about, chat. This next prompt. Here we go. It says if I was dating myself, I would be annoyed with.
Everything.
you're probably thinking he knows everything all the time. Fucking annoying.
I mean, off rip. What would I be really annoyed with? The lack of availability. Jesus Christ! Can you have any time to hang out with me? Well, I stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I have a podcast on the weekends, and I play volleyball on Sundays, and then I work 6:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. every day. So I should have like an hour or two. I mean, God.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Because when I think of like something that's like annoying, I'm not thinking of something that's like actually serious. Just like almost like a pet peeve, whatever. And there's a lot of stuff that I do that's like kind of gross. Like I have a bad habit of like using a Q-tip and then throwing it near a trash can,
Yeah, I
like
can confirm.
in the general vicinity of a trash
I
can.
can confirm that. Yeah.
Or it's like, it was close, and then I like go, I'm like, God damn, how many times in a row did I do this? I'm never doing this again. And then 24 hours later, fucking 12 Q-tips on the ground. So yeah, there's like shit like that. I don't put my clothes away. I just leave them in a basket and wear them until they're dirty again. But I guess that's more like that's like stuff I wouldn't like about myself as a roommate, more so than like a romantic partner.
Yeah,
But I feel like I'm
but
a
it's similar.
decently
Yeah, if you
affectionate person.
if you lived with your partner, aka yourself in this situation.
Yeah.
Taylor says the thing that you sent me a video about, you bully. I know exactly what video you're talking about.
Oh, dude. Oh, here's the. Oh my God. I tease Taylor about this all the time. This is Taylor. This is the impression. Oh my God. It's gonna rain tomorrow. Oh my. No. Fuck. Guys. It snowed in Mount Kilimanjaro this week. Okay.
Terrifying.
It's freaking cold now. It's gonna get cold soon. Oh my God. I thought, several people just died.
Several people just died. Matt says I would be so annoyed with his terrible procrastination and time management skills. I think I co-sign that for myself as well. I think that would definitely. I've gotten better at it as I've gotten older, for sure. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Most of my ideas too are very roommate related. Like some stuff that I'm like, oh, I'd get annoyed with myself for doing this thing in terms of how I live in my apartment. But I don't know. I'm a pretty fucking cool guy, dude. I think I would love to date myself. I'm always doing like a bunch of cool voices, and I'm really sweet, and I'm a good cuddler. And
He's
I'm
right.
great
He's
in
actually
bed.
right.
I would fuck myself silly. Jesus Christ. I was waiting for.
A lot of great points.
I was waiting for y'all. I kept trying to.
A lot of great points.
If y'all saw my face on
Yeah.
the stream, like honestly, but it is. I'm someone who's doesn't require a whole lot to be like entertained, and I think that's what makes me such a good partner. And I also provide a lot of entertainment. So I'm like, damn, that's a pretty ideal partner. I think I would like dating myself. But I really would get annoyed at never being available. Like seriously, it's too much.
I do know that when I'm not on my medicine, I'm a nightmare of a person to go to the store with.
You said if you're not on your medicine?
Yeah, if I haven't, like, because I take medication for my ADHD. I think I've talked about this on all the stuff we do. Yeah, if I'm not on my medicine, like, what would be like a 5-minute trip to the store will turn into an hour, and it's just unavoidable.
Yeah, our sister is the same way. I see in the chat too. Taylor says I would be annoyed with her changing outfits 20 times for nothing. Autobell says
What do you mean?
Autobell says I would get annoyed with her thinking that she can handle anything by herself and doesn't need help. Also, Taylor says to your non-medicated grocery trips, not a nightmare. I think it's cute. Aww.
Wow. Wait, hold on a
You gotta
second.
marry the right person. But I would be annoyed because if I was on my medicine with myself without my medicine, trying to go to the store for like 3 things, I would be very annoyed by that. But that's why you gotta marry someone who's on the same wavelength as you, because you can't. Like that, there's a good test of a good marriage. If is your marriage going to work out? Is your relationship going to work out? Can you guys go to the store with each other and have a good time? Because going to the store sucks. And if you can enjoy the little things like that, it's going to be all right.
Good point. Yeah. She also says, "Never mind. Ew. Don't aw."
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys are romanticizing things.
Autobell, yours actually does bring up some ideas for me that are more honest. I would definitely get annoyed at my communication skills. I would get annoyed at myself for creating this massive story and narrative in my own head that has no tangible proof or just creating this idea in my head and rolling with this imaginary idea.
But it's a good story.
It would be really, really annoying to deal with someone like that. I also think, I'm someone who definitely bottles things up a lot and way too often, and then, just lets it eat me alive. So that would be tough to deal with. I've gotten a lot better at my self-image issues, I think. But I think a couple of years ago, I would have hated to be with me for that reason. Just like, goddamn, every day you're like, I look like shit. And I'm like, you know what? I think you're sexy, Daniel. I think you're fucking sexy. I'm about
I've
to
been
fuck
saying
you
that for a
silly.
long
I'm about
time.
to fuck you. Get on the bed. I'm going back to that bit.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What about you, Timothy? What is something that you would get annoyed about? You said everything. If that actually is your answer, but
No. If I were dating myself, probably the constant need to always say something in a situation. I will tell you that is the thing I struggle with daily. Is I will walk away from a situation and be like, why the fuck did I speak? Shut the fuck up. The constant need to say, like, talking about something, and the best thing you can do is shake your head and be like, okay. And instead you're like, yeah, actually there was this time in my, and you're like, just stop. Not everything has to be a story. Just say yes or no. I think that's what would bother me the most, because it bothers me right now.
damn, I'm wondering how many things. I don't have enough, obviously, enough of an outside perspective of myself to really.
This is basically just a roundabout way for us to say what we hate about ourselves.
I would hate his little ass dick.
When he's trying to fuck me silly, and his dick is too little.
I do know one that is also realistic because of feedback, and that would be forgetfulness. It just constant. Okay, yeah, and then it's out of the fucking brain. That would piss me off.
I'll give you one for Dan, man. Here it is. You think that you can get comfortable being around Dan, but you can't because he's always got new shit. You'd be like, oh, I just want to have a relaxing time, and he's like, oh, I just found a new TV show that has 40 hours worth of content. We should do that. Or you're like, you know what? I just really want to come home and just eat like homemade spaghetti. And he's like, I just bought these brand new snacks that were invented on the moon or whatever from this store. You should try them. Oh, you're like,
Sounds
oh,
like
I just
fun.
want.
I'm about to say,
some
I
from
can see
Chapel
some people
Roan, and Dan's
really
like, no,
liking
you
that.
gotta listen to these fucking artisanal.
That kind of
fucking-
sounds fun.
Yeah, it sounds fun, but you know, the thing is when you're in a relationship, comfort is important, and sometimes routine is part of that.
Comforted by
That's
his
where
face.
Dan throws a wrench in everything.
Oh, apparently you
Dan
do
doesn't
too.
Dan doesn't even wear the same cologne like week to week. If you were dating Dan, you're like, oh, I really like this cologne. It's like it's gonna be a different cologne in a week, so don't get used to it. He doesn't wear the same body. He doesn't use the same body wash for an extended period. So there's
I
no
actually do have the
consistency.
same body wash now. You are right about the cologne, but I will say if I did have a partner and they were like, "Oh, I love this smell. Keep this one." I would keep it.
Oh.
But mine are based on seasonal. So like I have a really woodsy one for cold weather, a lot brighter, like kind of creamier one for springtime, super aquatic one for summertime. And then kind of like a dark, musky date night one for fall. So that's really what it is. Now, I see that apparently you're the same as me because Taylor says, David always has a new hot chip. I just want a potato chip.
Yeah, the hot foods thing. You know what though? Even Sammy was telling me, like, Sammy used to be my spice lord, bro. Is that a appropriate word for that? He used to be, he used to be the spice king, you know, and he could eat anything spicy level, and he was always had new hot sauces. He was like I think that he would even trump your game, Dan, like in his prime, for the different types of hot sauces he always had on hand and like where he got them from and stuff. And he had told me, like, since he's been married, he's like, yeah, I don't eat as much hot stuff anymore, and he's like, my tolerance is going down. Like, damn, that's brutal.
Dang, he lost it.
Comes for us at all.
'Cause we married some white girls, man. Can't
Also,
handle it.
Autobell says, for you, Timothy, she said, it's not the speaking, it's the over-exaggerating your stories.
Yeah, that's true. It's because I went to. It's because I went to this really prestigious school for film, and we won all of these awards. It was,
I was
just
about
really
to-
tough to let that go and settle.
It's so funny you went that route because I was about to do the same. Like when you said, yeah, it's true, I was going to say, it's actually really true. It's like so fucking true.
It is
Like, reminds me of the time I was talking to Neil Armstrong, and he was telling me, Timothy, you're so cool, right? Obviously.
My problem is numbers. I will fudge numbers like no one's business and only really think of it afterwards. And I'm like, that number's so fucking wrong. Why did I say that number? It's like the number should have been 10 and I said like 1,000. What is wrong with
Oh,
me?
I do that a lot. I over-exaggerate numbers like all the time. I'm like, bro, this is like, it feels like there's fucking 60% today has been this, and it was like 3 things that day. And I need everyone to feel how fucking frustrated I am, and I'm like, here's some data to back it up, and that it's fake, but you
But
know.
it felt real to me.
I'll tell you
so-
what, though, our job messes with us with that too, because when we see something wrong happening at our job, we'll like report
Arby's.
it, and they'll be like we'll be like, hey, this sandwich, like every time we put it together, the bottom bun falls off, and they're like, we just need to see like 55 more sandwiches do that before we can like really tell that sandwich is being made wrong. And we're like, well, why wait? And so like Daniel and I are the kind of people who can see a trend from early on. We're like, oh yeah, like there's not enough beef on this sandwich. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
And we have the meats, so
and we have the
Right.
meats.
Right, we
and
know
we
you
can't
have it.
Sacrifice that. So it's like it's not that we're saying, hey, there's 10,000 sandwiches that have been completely dismembered and manhandled. We're
Mhm.
saying that if 50,000 more sandwiches are made, I guarantee you they will fall apart
Mhm.
because we have seen sandwiches being made all the time,
We've seen the
and
chart.
they're
we've
like,
seen
and they're
the
like, no,
chart, yeah.
we need a thing. So like, it ends up like on our brains. It's like, well, when 3 things happen, we assume it's the net. We're not thinking about the fact that it's only 3. We're thinking about the fact that it's about to be 50, 60, 70.
Mhm.
That's
Why
true.
even 50 or 60? Why not 1,000? You know, I don't ever exaggerate my numbers. Why not?
Never.
1,000?
You never do that.
No, I've never done
Matt says Dan sounds like a lot of fun to date. Is he available? And Taylor
Funny you should
confirms.
ask.
Taylor confirms on my behalf he is. Matt
Aw.
then sends a GIF of 2 men making out.
Oh, amazing! Very progressive. That's one of the
And,
channel emotes, right?
Yeah. That's one of ours.
Just want to make sure.
Still working on that email you sent me too.
Okay.
I'll get it in.
And yes, hey, if you have it by this Sunday, that'd be clutch.
I'll do it.
Taylor says, yeah, it sucks when the bottom bun is soggy. They need to get it together. I'm giggling with this Arby's shit. Hey,
Taylor actually used to be a manager at an Arby's franchise. Obviously, me. and
Oh,
him,
I
like,
forget
Arby's
about
corporate.
that.
We would never work at an Arby's. Never stepped foot. We've never stepped foot in an Arby's. But we do work for corporate, and
yeah, we work for corporate Arby's.
yeah, that's the thing is Taylor's always like, well, it's the soggy. I'm like, well, yeah, because I need 1,000 more soggy sandwiches before they'll consider reducing the amount of cheddar cheese placed on the double beef and cheddar.
She says, don't talk about it. Embarrassing time in my life.
You should be proud of that.
You should be
were a
proud of
girl
it.
boss.
You were
at
running that shit,
17.
girl.
You were running that shit,
Here's
and they hoed you.
here's one right here. This prompt says, the last time that I ghosted. When's the last time you guys ghosted someone? Or
Today.
today?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, a customer at my job just didn't want to handle it. It's for tomorrow.
That's
Hey,
fair.
bro, I got a lot of sandwiches. I see looking at the table, and I go, that's a Monday sandwich.
That's a Monday sandwich.
Absolutely.
Auto-
Absolutely.
Autobell says,
Sometimes you're like,
Autobell says, my husband.
You
that's not
ghosted
when, that's
Timothy?
who.
Wait, did she ghost you before you guys started going out for real?
She did actually, yes. Yeah, we
When you
went
guys met
yes.
on ChristianMingle.com?
farmersonly.com.
Farmers Only, that's right. Sorry.
FarmersOnlyFans.com.
Yes, yeah, we started talking and then she did ghost me, actually, after we talked for a few days. She did.
Wow.
Wow.
And she's admitted to it now.
I'll tell you someone that I ghosted, and I won't give a name, but if somebody's listening that has known me for a while, they'll probably know who I'm talking about. But I used to have a really, really close friend that I considered, one of my best friends in the world,
Mm.
who actually lived with me for a good amount of time in my young adult life. That it just kind of came to light that they were a bad person for a lot of reasons, and they were doing a lot of bad things, including pretty significant amount of abuse to their significant other. And because of that, it got to a point where I was like, you
gotta go.
can't live with me anymore. And then it wasn't like we had a conversation of like, hey, you're not in my life anymore. It was like once they moved out, I just stopped talking to them, and only like really heard from them or said anything to them like once or twice in the last however long, but nothing substantial. I think there was like one, like it's so few and far between. I know exactly the times I've spoken to. Like there was a time in 2021 that I was like, hey, Sloth Roast is going to be in at this venue in Dallas. You're like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, just letting them know
I
the
remember
band
when
that
that
we both
happened.
like was going to be in town, and it's like,
Mhm.
and that's like a really significant one, because I like when I say that, it's like somebody who I thought was going to be a part of my life for the rest of my life. Somebody that I truly, really cared about and do anything for, and had done a lot for. And it was just like, yeah, this is not the person who I thought that they were, and I don't want to associate with them anymore.
I remember that. I remember that being tough.
It was, still is.
I can remember the last time I like actually ghosted somebody, and it was for the best, and that was right outside of college.
Yeah, it sounds like you and Dave both have like positive ghosting stories.
Yeah, mine was, mine was for the best to ghost that person. That way, I could move forward with my life and grow and be like, this is not the type of person that I need in my life. This person is a net negative, not net positive.
Yeah.
Net negative.
And you know
in this
what? I think
situation.
there's a lot of people that Timothy and I went to school with that it's really a situation of like, not out of like intent or malice of like, hey, I'm not going to talk to this person anymore, but more of let's let them make the next move. If they still
Yes.
want me to be a friend, if they still want me in their life,
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna let them make that move and make that, have them reach out to me.
Yeah.
And if they don't, well then
I'm
just
just
end
gonna
up
move on.
not talking anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, see in chat, Taylor says that she accidentally ghosted David.
Oh my god, bro. We reconnected. When we reconnected, right? I still think this is funny. When you think about everything that me and Taylor have built in our life together and how easily it could have none of it could have happened. When we reconnected after high school, I had messaged her on Facebook and we started talking. And while we were chatting on Facebook, I gave her my phone number. And then I didn't hear from her for like 2 weeks. And then out of nowhere, I see that she added me on Snapchat. It's like someone added you by your phone number on Snapchat. And I messaged her on Snapchat. I was like, oh, I see, you added me, whatever. It's like, I haven't heard from you in a while. And she was like, well, I thought you were going to text me. I said, I gave you my number. And she was like, oh, yeah, that's.
That's how that works.
Yeah, I was like, so she's sitting there waiting for me to text her. I'm like, I gave you my number. I was waiting for you to text me. Oh, man. That's so crazy.
That is funny. That reminds me of a story of. I remember I was in Denton, Texas at the time. I was visiting some friends who were going to UNT at the time. And we were just like thinking of funny bits and stuff to do. And it was like really late at night. And I was thinking, you know what would be really funny? I should text the highest person that I know because this guy's, like big, like super, super into weed and stuff. And I was like, I know this guy's high as fuck. I'm gonna fuck with him out of nowhere. And he was a buddy of mine. So I just like texted him. And I said, his name was Jordan. I said, hey, Jordan. I said, I text this dude. I said, hey, Jordan, it's Daniel. I just got a new phone and I lost everybody's numbers. Can you send me your number? And he said, yeah. And he goes, yeah, bro. I got you. No worries. And he sends me his number. And I could tell he was being so sincere. He was like, oh shit. Yeah, I got you, bro. And sent me his number. Oh, that was funny. Such a good bit.
So funny.
And I do fuck with I love fucking with high people because I always ask them, hi, how are you? And they say, like, fucking really high. And I'm like, that's not what I asked. I said, hi, how are you? Let's see. I have it says, Taylor also said that she ghosted the aforementioned Mormon boy prior to her husband.
Yep.
Matt says that all of the times that he ghosted someone, he doesn't know if he actually did, because they could have been ghosting him. He'll never know.
That's true.
Interesting.
I mean, communication is a two-way street.
It is, yeah. When you say you ghost someone, well,
you have to. It has to be like they're like, "Hey, what's up?" and you still don't reply, or they're like, "Hey, is everything going all right?" Like, if they've reached out to you like 4 or 5 times, and you just didn't respond, then you're like for real ghosting them.
Yeah. I know my answer to this is easy. The last time I ghosted someone was the girl I matched with on Hinge a couple of days ago. And that's because I said, hey, of course, I message first. I'm a gentleman. I said, hey, how are you? How's your day been? And she said, good. You? Ooh, ghosted.
Ooh.
Ghosted. You've been ghosted. I apologize, Madison. That is your name, correct? You've been ghosted. Very terrible.
That's not where I thought the story was going. I thought you were gonna say you were like, "Hey, how was your day?" And she was like, "I don't like people of other ethnicities." And you're like, "Oh,
Ooh, that might be a no.
that's gonna be a no from me, dog."
No, I was just like, all right, never mind. Your energy's awful, and I
She's
am.
like, I haven't put
already
any
bored.
dogs down today, so pretty bad. You? Question mark.
You, as if you can respond to that. Did we update the Hinge pictures yet? Says Matt. Oh yeah, he's referring to my Instagram story. No, I have not. I really am thinking about adding that, but I don't want to be like one of those like. I'm goofy. You know, like the the meme that's like, oh my god, she's so crazy, with the picture of the girl with the bag of like frozen vegetables on her head. It's a really specific meme.
Yeah.
It's like, I love her. She's so crazy. I don't want to be that. I'm worried about that, so I try and
You're
keep
not
it.
like the other girls.
Gabby knows what I'm talking about. Gabby also says valid ghost. Thank you. I was hoping you would say that because I get worried. I don't want to be that guy on the dating apps who's like, dude, he messaged me and then said nothing. It's like, well, if you're gonna say good, you.
Well,
And
it's
I was
kinda
using.
like when I resigned from a job, and you guys, the advice I got was they're probably gonna find a way to let you go anyway. It's that you're like, well, I'm gonna get you before you get me because I know where this shit's going.
Yeah. Matt says, weed them out, though. If they can't handle the pick, they'll most likely be as bland as the last girl. That's fair. I need to update all those profiles. I don't know.
Yeah, Timothy, next time you come to town, do some headshots for Dan. He can have some new Hinge pictures.
Yeah.
When's Dan coming to my town?
I am. I'll be in Texas in December.
Here we go.
That's a long time.
Easy.
I will be
No, he's
busy the entire time.
Sad. But fair.
No, I'm going for a wedding.
I
That's
might-
Fair.
I might come to Texas in June though,
why.
with Taylor while she's off for school.
Ooh.
But I told her, I said, if we go, we're going to be doing different things. I was like, because she's talking about her parents want to go on like a weekend vacation, and Taylor said she would come down and watch her little brother. I was like, cool, I'm gonna go build Legos with Timothy.
Whose wedding? Says Gabby. Mo's wedding.
I didn't know Mo was getting married.
Mo is getting married in December. Hit him up about this.
Yeah, everyone message him and tell him congratulations on his engagement, and that we're really excited for his wedding. And
To a man,
let-
right?
yeah, and let him know that we'll be live streaming his wedding, so he's ready for that.
Gabby says, I was going to facetiously guess Mo. Congrats, Mo, says Matt. I am lying. Mo's not getting married.
Boo.
I just love the idea of him getting married. Because he's so.
I love the idea that saying Mo's getting married is a punchline. Like,
I
that's
know.
already
He's just
a
so
joke.
goofy. Let's see. I'm looking. I'm trying to see if we can get one more prompt to end the night here. So I want it to be a good one.
So I just want to say, Mo getting married would be him not being funny anymore, as the equivalent of a fat comedian who loses weight. You'd be, oh, Mo's not funny anymore. He got married.
He's not funny
That's
anymore.
a good way.
He
That's
got
a good way
married.
of thinking of it.
That's
So
interesting.
he's washed.
Matt says Mo and I are not getting married. Why am I just now hearing about this? I'm so sorry, Matt. I'm sorry.
That's like my friends who at the time when I got married were not married, and they were like, "How come you don't hang out with us anymore?" And I look back at my wife and I'm like, "Cause I got her. She's prettier than you, dummy."
Dummy.
And I live with her. It's much easier to hang out.
All right, let's see. Oh my God, there's an insane one in here.
Do it.
No,
End the night with an insane one.
no. Too explicit.
Too risque.
It's too explicit. We're running a all families Oh,
All-
uh-oh. Mo says, Taylor, what the fuck are you congratulating me for?
There he is.
Oh wait, is this in the chat or is this in our group chat?
This is in the chat.
in the chat.
Oh, we have a highlighted message from Mo. Thanks for, we appreciate you. Hold on. I'll allow it. There we go. I allowed it. He says, you dumb bitch. Mo's mad.
I was pissed, bro. He's just wait till we post all.
Well,
this, bro.
Matt's
He's gonna be
confronting him now. He's saying, "Hey, when were you going to tell me that our wedding was off?"
Damn, you might
That's
need to get a new
devastating.
question quick. They're gonna be fighting.
I know, and I was just getting the hang of their couple portmanteau, which is of course Mo.
All right, here we go. Here's a good one, or it could be a good one at least.
Such a stupid joke. All right.
Let's
Good.
see. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Mo says, "Who said that our wedding was off? Was it Taylor?"
No, it actually wasn't this time.
Damn, we got some shit to figure out, guys. Here, all right. Here's the last prompt of the night. If you guys want to participate in the chat, you can. I welcome you to do so. I really wish this would focus, but it's fine. It says,
But if Mo does get married, I should also be going to that wedding. So the fact that it was just you and not me.
No,
True.
I mean that makes sense.
That's true. But last prompt of the night is a text message that I fantasize about sending. A text message that I fantasize about sending. This could be a text to your job saying, "Hey, I'm not coming in today or any day. Good night."
Make your own fucking roast beef.
Make your own roast beef, bro.
Papa
like to
needs his
see-
provisions.
Papa needs his provisions. I don't know, dude. There's not a text that I fantasize about sending.
I was gonna think about. I was thinking about. Fuck. What was I thinking about? It's getting late. Let's see. Maybe that was a dud. It's fine. I didn't know if y'all had any like something that you just wish you could say. You know.
If only I had a platform where I could just say things that I want to say.
It's funny. I have a you know, quote unquote text message I fantasize about sending, but not really because I'm too realistic and I'm like, if I sent that, it would just ruin everything. Like, so why would I want to send that? You know what I'm saying?
No.
So Matt says, Matt says, you lied to me. Matt says, it's in December, guys. Everyone's invited except you, Taylor. Oh. Taylor said, it's a sad response. Do you want the smoke? Matt says, Taylor is fantasizing about texting me and letting me have the smoke. He says, my fantasy text is always the same. You up? Mo says, his fantasy text is sending a text to Jason Tatum that says, good game, bro. Lock in this season.
Okay.
Oh, Mo says, hold on, I'm watching an ad. Don't respond to that yet. Wow, someone's not subscribed.
Well, he has the Ads Plus Premium.
He does have the Ads Plus Premium.
Yeah. He's got. Is it Long John Silver's this time? Don't tell me it's Arby's, dude. We're sick of these Arby's commercials. I actually applied for the marketing department of Arby's originally. They said, "You ever roast a beef?" I was like, "No." They said, "You'll get the hang of it."
He said he's back. He
Here
said
I
he
am.
he literally pays for ads. Relax.
I'm
Right, we know.
relaxed.
We know you pay for ads. Was this Long John Silver's? And who is Long John? And why is his last name Silver?
Gabby says, I am. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Gabby. Sorry. Oh, you're subscribed. Yes, thank you so much for being subscribed, Gabby. We love you. We appreciate you. Can I get a banger to end? Can I get a banger to end stream, guys?
Can you get?
Hey,
a
if you
banger?
guys have any bangers to end stream by asking in the chat, do it.
Yeah, see if you guys can get a question so good that the stream goes on until 10:30.
Yeah. Yeah, the question will be, What are y'all's opinions on the Spider-Man franchise?
Ass.
Dave's like, all right.
So 1972. Good year for Spidey.
Taylor says, I fantasize about sending a text to a couple of people from a long time ago telling them that they ruined my life, but I am doing amazing despite them. That's a really good answer, actually. Just like a petty text, you know? Just like a petty text like that. Like, hey, suck
best
it,
revenge
bitch.
is success.
Yeah.
You know what? I will say that some people in our biological family say that when I get text messages from them, I do kind of want to respond and just be like, are you guys fucking delusional? Like, what in your fucking awful genetic brain that you passed on to me makes you think I want to ever get a text message from you? But I never will do that
Yeah.
because that's exactly what those people want. They want a response out of you. They want you to be thinking about them, good or bad. And the best revenge is success. And one of these days, I'm gonna have really good revenge. What? I'm getting so close to some revenge, bro. I'm getting so close to this revenge.
That's facts.
Anyway,
Should we do a podcast adjacent one?
sure.
Let's do a podcast adjacent one. And I'll actually ask two questions. Here we go. I'll ask one more general for chat to participate. So, first question is, what is your hottest food take? What's a take that you have about food that you think everyone would disagree with you about? And then the second question for the actual prompt is, the movie that I shouldn't have seen so young. What is the movie that we should not have seen so young?
My God, brother, we were watching the most fucked up shit. So fucking nerd. I'm pretty sure I was 9 years old, running scared for the first time.
Running Scared, you said. You saw when you were 9.
Yeah, that movie is fucked up.
That movie is fucked
That
up.
movie is fucked up.
That's a good one.
Oh,
hold on,
also, I mean, we watched all like the Chucky and Michael Myers, all that stuff. At like 5.
Yeah, horror too early is always risky. I see Matt says, which Spider-Man franchise? Don't get him started, Matt.
Yeah, we're past that.
He'll do his
Funny
own
shit.
Just Chatting stream. Don't worry. He'll answer that on his turn hosting. Corbin says, I fantasize. Oh, here we go. I'm loving this one, Corbin. Corbin says, I fantasize about texting Nico Harrison from a private number in December. If you trade Luca, you are going to die.
Yeah, time travel would be so phenomenal.
That's great.
Yeah, I also want to text Nico Harrison from a private number of just his own address. I don't know it, but if I knew it,
Yeah.
and just texting him from a private number to a phone that I know he actually checks regularly, just his own address,
Honestly.
just so just enough to scare him out of town. That's all.
That's fair. I see that Mo says, for question 1, hottest food take, he says that coleslaw fucks. He loves coleslaw.
That's
Yeah,
not a
that's
hot take because coleslaw
No, that's a hot
does
take.
fuck.
Coleslaw fucking sucks.
No,
donkey dick.
no.
Everyone knows
Disagree.
it's the worst side.
Here
I
we
know,
go.
I enjoy coleslaw.
Here we
worst
go.
Wet, sloppy coleslaw. I love it.
I also
right.
do really enjoy coleslaw, but I could totally understand someone hating it at
You
the same
fucking
time.
freaks. You fucking freaks.
Yeah, yeah. Boo us.
Boo! Boo! Wait till we get a stream deck. I'm hitting that right there. And then Mo says for question 2, Requiem for a Dream when we were in 5th or 6th grade.
Bro, I was gonna say that.
That's a good one.
That was my thought too. I think we saw. I saw it after 2008, so we would have been just now about to be in high school, but it's still too young.
I don't remember when I saw it, but I know I was too young, and I watched it and was like, "Is this what the real world is like?"
I think you and I probably watched Irreversible too young too. I think there's not an age in which Irreversible is an appropriate age to have seen that movie. So anyone who has seen that movie saw it too young.
Honestly, yeah, Irreversible is a tough one. I mean, I've seen Yeah, we've seen a lot of movies we should not have seen too young for sure. Requiem for a Dream definitely comes to mind, but it is funny because it's also what changed my life with films. So I saw it at the right age at the same time because
I think I watched Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi, Spider-Man 1 too young because I wasn't able to appreciate the cinematic arts that. And listen, here's the thing about Spider-Man. Just kidding.
Matt says hottest food take Arby's is ass. Not as hot as you think. I'll tell you that it's not as hot of a
Arby's
take
is ass.
as you think. I personally don't think they're absolutely like. I don't think they're ass. I eat them occasionally. Movie I shouldn't have seen so young. Harry Sluts 3. Is that real?
Who answered that?
That's Matt.
Absolutely, that's real.
Matt
It's
said
because
Harry
he saw it
Sluts
too early
3.
because he didn't see 1 and 2. He skipped straight to 3.
I will say there was I have man I'm old. There was like a thing where if you got on, I remember being a child and there was like a thing on cable where there were certain channels that had like Skinemax like boobies and shit, but it was extremely fuzzy. Like the antenna connection was like super weak and you didn't have access to those premium channels that you could only make it out in the static. And you'd be like, "Oh, that's a breast," you know. And
Someone's breastises.
I used
Single
to
breast.
like as soon as my parents were out of the room, I was like, "Yeah," I like, went back to it.
Yeah, fuzzy.
And I actually think I got caught one time.
Fuzzy Titty. Fuzzy Titty.
Oh,
a great
and
band
staying
name,
up
by the way.
like super late and like watching the Girls Gone Wild ads that were on repeat. Too young to be watching all that. Let's see. Taylor says question number 2 is Evil Dead, especially for me. It was traumatizing. I've actually never seen Evil Dead, the original. I need to watch that. Let's see. Oh, okay. Gabby says for food take, she says sardine superiority. What do we think about that?
No. Nope.
Uh,
Here's
have
my
to do
hot
more
food take.
research.
You guys don't like food. No, my hot food take is the same. It's always been the same and always will be. Onions are fucking disgusting. They ruin every food they're in. They smell gross. They taste gross. They feel gross. There you go. I hate onions with a passion.
Sounds like we got a little pussy over here.
I see. Let's see. Oh, Taylor says her hottest food take is that bacon is overrated. I actually agree
Yeah,
with that
dude.
take.
Taylor's like a very dude. The bacon wrap shit. She's like over it, bro. Bacon wrap is bacon wrap.
I'm with her.
I halfway agree with her. I love bacon, but I do agree that it is being injected into way too many things.
It's like become a fucking personality trait.
Yes,
it's like
yeah,
fucking,
I hate it.
I wear bacon t-shirts and bacon socks. Who doesn't like bacon? It's like,
Yeah,
bro.
it's like yes, most people like it.
But I also like, I think Taylor's, even her saying like it's overrated, I don't even think that's like a hot take, but even you could take Taylor's opinion as far as like Taylor will take sausage over bacon almost every single time. Like
Yeah.
that's where like I think some people are like,
Yeah,
oh,
I will
okay,
too.
well, I do think it's overrated, but bacon is still better than sausage. Like no, and I agree with Taylor. It all depends on like what type of sausage and the cook on it and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
and how it compares to that place's bacon or whatever else. But yeah, for me it's just like bacon is it's in too many things, and I think it's actually best by itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
But it's in everything.
I'll still fuck up a Baconator though, so I guess I'm not totally on the anti-bacon hate.
Baconator is one of my top 3 fast food.
Dude, Baconators.
Item.
Whew, I
Fast food
mean,
burgers.
it's worth the panic of worrying about my actual heart health.
Yeah, it is also worth the fucking 12 hours I'll spend on the toilet the next day.
Let me catch up on
next day, as if I could make it 30 minutes after a Baconator.
I'm gonna catch up on chat here. We got a lot of comments, so I'm gonna catch up, boys. Here we go. Let's see. Mo says just heroin and double-sided D's at 10. I think he's talking about movies he saw too young. Gabby says I've never had it. It's so far gone that I don't know what you're referring to. I apologize. Matt says, I don't know what it was called, but I was way too young. Taylor says, sardines? Girl, no. Mo said, did someone say fuzzy? Gabby said, I did that too, Daniel. Thank you for sharing my curious horniness. Autobell says, Sam's has the better glizzy over Costco. That's her hot take on food.
I agree with that. I think they have better pizza too.
I was about to say, if that's a hot take, then let me just say Sam's is better than Costco in every single way. As far as a shopping experience, I'm not as a company or whatever.
But do they have a double chocolate chunk cookie?
But as a shopping experience and selection and price and quality, Sam's. Wow. Sam's has better everything, including, yes, their cafe. Their pizza is way better than Costco pizza. And their rotisserie chicken is unbelievably better than Costco's rotisserie chicken. And it has less preservatives in it as well. That's why I fucking can't stand Costco. They put so much fucking carrageenan and fucking all the worst oils and everything. Taylor says, too young to be watching Futurama. Another thing I've never seen, fun fact. Let's see. Mo says sardines slap. So he's team sardines. Gabby says, I love onion and I love bacon. Damn.
Well, eat yourself a bacon wrapped onion.
Bacon wrapped onion.
Sardines.
Which sounds
And
pretty
I'll
good.
smell your breath from here. I'll smell your breath over there in Portland from here.
I also love onions. I used to hate them when I was a kid. Hate them. Let's see. Gabby says that she asks for extra crispy bacon sometimes. Taylor says sausage over bacon 10 out of 10 times, but Gabby says I don't like floppy bacon. And Taylor does say floppy bacon is a crime. Mo says crispy bacon with ketchup is another one of my hot takes. I know it's gross, but I don't care. That is a hot take. Grow up. You're not 5 years old. Gabby says Arby's. Just Arby's.
That's what she has never had. That's what she was referring to.
Oh,
that
okay.
she's never had.
Wait, you've never had Arby's, Gabby?
Go get yourself a double beef and cheddar, but sub out the onion bun for a fucking sesame seed bun, because trust me, it's better.
That's
I
funny.
would know. I work at corporate.
Let's see. Gabby also said that the Italian in her loves tinned fish. Sponsor us, Sam's, says Taylor. Yes, please. Honestly, we did a really good. We just gave you free promo. And Gabby says,
Hey, let us be the Sam's Club guys. Come on.
Gabby says, I knew that I could count on Mo. Mo likes bone broth too. Bone broth superiority. Well, fucking get a room, you two. Matt says, you guys are acting like bacon is a personality trait or something. Do y'all remember? Hey, remember when it was?
We're not the ones acting like it.
Remember when it was? What was that? 2012?
Yeah,
Or,
the I Love
that
Bacon
era.
T-shirts and like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bacon and more bacon and more bacon. Yeah, epic mealtime. Dude, that's what I was thinking of, Matt. I was
Eat,
thinking of
sleep,
that era.
bacon.
Yeah.
Keep calm and eat bacon.
Gabby says Nori about not having Arby's. She has bought the frozen bag from Target before of the curly fries. Millennial cringe. That is a great way to describe that era. Absolutely. Yeah, the weird mustache era. Yep. That's the one.
Yeah. Weird mustache, silly bands. Like, I mean, I listen, the keep calm and eat bacon. I mean, come on. That's like.
Keep
Classic.
calm and eat bacon. I think my hottest food take, if it counts as food, is Sonic Ice is the worst ice. Gabby says,
Okay, yeah, that is a hot fucking take. You're a psycho.
Gabby says,
You're,
I love
you're
boobies.
A fucking freak.
I heart boobies. That was also another
I
one.
heart boobies.
Yeah. Tough guys wear pink, she says. That's another
We actually
one.
had one of the kids I went to school with whose mom passed away from breast cancer, and it was like a few years later, like it was like in like sophomore or junior year. There's some kid who's just trying to be an asshole who's like, you still wear the fucking I heart boobies? That shit's so cringe, bro. And everybody who went to middle school with him, who was there when his mom passed away, was like, hey, bro, we'll all fucking kill you. Like, you piece of shit. Don't ever speak to him again. Like,
Good.
Like, Jesus Christ. It was like everybody in the class was like, shut the fuck up and don't ever say anything to him ever again. They were like, he was like, what the hell, dude? Y'all are cringe.
Y'all
Brother.
cringe.
You don't even know.
Matt says that he also
we all
hearts
wore pink.
boobies. Apparently,
I'm
I'm being
pretty
canceled by
affectionate with
chat for
boobies.
the Sonic Ice take.
Yeah, you're psychotic, dude. That's like the best. It is the best texture of. It's like one of the best textures of all time, dude.
I disagree.
You're
And-
fucking crazy, bro. You're saying you're going bonker, cuckoo bananas. Put this guy in a cuckoo house. Oh, he's the one who flew over the cuckoo's nest. This guy.
Yeah, I don't need 500 million pellets of ice to keep a drink cold. Let's chill the fuck out.
Yeah,
al-
that's what we're trying to do is chill the fuck out. You and I are
Also,
down,
yeah,
bro.
you guys have to get stronger teeth. The crunchier the ice, the better. That shit's too soft. I want to chew on ice, not sip on almost water. Fuck you guys. Gabby says, bring back bullying. I love bullying. Okay, interesting. She says that she used to work at Sonic. Matt says, I want to go back to the days when I got bullied. Matt,
Easy.
more like Schmat. Matt Schmat, dude. Yeah, how you like that?
More like fat fuck, disgusting pig.
No, that was my favorite. Being able to
Am I
diss
doing all right?
myself way better than any bullies. Like I remember. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it because I would have to say my last name. I'm not gonna dox myself. Here we
Okay,
go.
but also I wanted to give a shout out to
Yeah.
Caleb Heron joke. One of my favorite jokes that he did, which was saying that he hates when people try to make fun of people for being fat, but he doesn't like when people are being lazy. They're like, "Oh, do you want a Twinkie?" He's like, "Do you want a Twinkie? I bet you like cake." He's like, "I'll shoot you with a gun." He's like, if you're gonna call me fat, get more creative.
Yeah,
Everyone likes cake.
His
I haven't had a Twinkie since 2002.
yeah, his whole rant about the internet comments is one of my favorite clips of him. It's so funny. Of him just talking about someone saying he said he saw a comment that said, I don't know about you guys, but this guy looks like he broke into the pie factory and ate all the pies. And that he said, I just wanted to say back, like, hey, I will kill you with a gun. He said, I will fuck your father. Hey,
Yeah.
I know that maybe your Toyota Corolla's in the shop, but just going crazy. Let's catch up on chat here. It says, I would just dump the ice out on the ground and step on it. I loved the feeling and the sound. Taylor says it's for snacking. Gabby says, I've always been an ASMR queen. That was really mean, David. Please stop.
Was I being too good of a bully? My bad.
Matt
I was just
said,
fucking around, dude.
Matt said, my
Gosh, I'm being a
bully.
pussy.
Matt said, my bullies had no disses, just fists. Sad. Gabby said, that was sad, Matt. Gabby said, I love Twinkies low key. Mo said, I loved Caleb Heron so much. Ha 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 ha. Yes, we are all Caleb Heron stands here for sure.
Yeah, one of the best stand-up sets I've ever seen.
Same. The best hour of stand-up I have seen for sure. Gabby says snowballs are my favorite, but I don't think they sell them anymore. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Did you answer this question yet, Timothy? I know I've been catching up on chat for a while.
What was the question?
What's your hottest food take, and what is a movie that you saw too young?
The movie was Requiem of a Dream as well. I agreed with you on that. I'm trying to think of a hot food take.
Damn, I love that we all share that. That's great.
One scene in
Well,
particular.
I actually had an older brother, so I did not see Requiem for a Dream too early. He's like, he's like, I'll tell you when you're older.
Ass to ass.
Yeah, that's the scene. Yes, sir.
Yep.
I remember seeing him being like, I don't want to see this movie again.
You know, I told this story on the podcast, but I cut it because it got cut for time, if you will. But I asked Daniel when we were recording, because I brought up the movie Youth in Revolt, and I said, do you remember what the opening scene of Youth in Revolt was? And he said, no. I said, it's a scene of Michael Cera jerking off. And I was like, and I told him, I said, I remember this scene distinctly because it opens with the wall shaking, and then as it like starts to pan and tilt down, it just has Michael Cera, and he's like pulling his pants back up, and then he has like tissues and lotion next to him. And like Mo and Daniel were like cracking up, and I was like, what's so funny? And they were like, we'll tell you when you're older. I was like, oh, I can't wait until I find out how funny that was. And it was like we both got older, and I was like, hey, that's not funny. It's just he's just jerking off. And so they were too young to know that that's not funny, and I was too
It's
young
kinda
to know
funny
what
now,
was
though.
happening. Yeah, yeah, it's like you reach a peak, and yeah.
I see here Matt says, I'm not trying to be sad, LOL, or LMAO. I wasn't trying to be sad. I just found it funny how unfunny people were the ones that got physical, and the ones who talk shit were pussies. That's fair, yeah. I remember, fun fact, where I found out that I was good at freestyle rapping was at a church in Texas. And I was
Where
freestyle.
freestyle rapping is famous.
Yes, of course. And I was
All the best rappers came out of churches in Texas.
that's when I like got a lot of like I guess respect or whatever the word is from a lot of like popular kids and bullies and stuff, is because I let every single person, we were in front of that church and every single person stepped up and tried to like rap battle me, and I was cooking every single one of them. And I still remember some of the bars that I said, like to this day. It's actually very memorable for me. Autobell says, snowballs and Twinkies made me think of Zombieland. Also, Mo clarified
Famous, yeah.
the ass-to-ass scene is why he said double-sided dildos earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt said Zombieland was an amazing experience in theaters. Gabby says, favorite shitty movie, like you know it's bad, but you just love it. That's a good question, actually.
I'm actually going to
Spider-Man
give
3,
my...
Sam Raimi. Sorry, go ahead.
I will give my hot food take because I have to get off and go to bed. So I'm going to give it and then
Yeah.
leave that way. I can't face the consequences.
Okay.
Fair.
Everybody, hey, hold on, before you say it, everyone get ready to fucking cook Timothy's ass in the chat. All right.
Raising Cane's chicken is perfectly fine, and I eat it without the sauce.
You're a fucking psycho.
Good night, everybody. Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
Timothy.
This man
Good night,
fucking-
And
he's
he's
gonna
out.
wear your skin.
And he's
this
out.
motherfucker's gonna wear your skin. That is the most. Hell no. And listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I eat so much fucking Raisin Canes, guys. It is one of the only fast food restaurants that is close to where I live, that is on the same side of the road that I'm driving when I come home. So it's like, if I want to stop and I don't want to have to, deal with traffic, I just go to Raisin Canes, and it's become a thing with me and Taylor where it's like every single payday just means we're gonna be lazy and get Raisin Canes. So I eat a ton of Raisin Canes, and I drown that shit, bro. I will fucking. If I've never ordered the cup of sauce because I think that's taking it a step too far, and the only thing I'm gonna eat with the Raisin Cane sauce is Raisin Cane's chicken. But I don't take a bite of that fucking shit without fucking. It's a 2-to-1 weight to sauce to chicken ratio.
Yeah, let's see some of the reactions here. We do have one. Well, let me catch up real quick. Let's see. Taylor said that David and I do this thing where we watch movies so bad that they're good, and I can't think of my favorite one right now, but it is my favorite thing to do. Gabby says that's valid. All right, here's our reactions to Timothy's hot food take and then exiting abruptly. Fucking psycho. Good night, Timothy. Canceled. Burn in hell.
That one.
Let's see. Oh, Gabby says cane sauce is so fire, but the chicken is too. I disagree. Their chicken does nothing for me without sauce. In fact, I actually put my own sauce on it when I get home and eat it.
Well, I don't know when the last time Gabby has been back in Texas is, but if you go back to Golden Shake and or Chicken Express, you'll remember what really good chicken strips taste like without sauce.
Let's see. Autobell says, "Oh, I think he's a fucking psycho." So,
Shout out.
so he's actually not going to be escaping the criticism.
Yeah, he's getting it
He's going right back
right
to it.
now.
The Wild Dream Stream official Twitch account commented, Wild Dream does not condone the comments made by Timothy this evening. We will look into this deeply. We hear you. We see you. That's a really progressive
Thank
and awesome
God.
stance from the channel there. Gabby says, to be honest, I haven't had it in forever, so I could be remembering wrong. Taylor says, my queen to Autobell. That is probably the hottest food take of the night. I think he won. I thought that the Sonic Ice was not going to be beat because I've known that people hate when I say that, but wow, just raw dogging Cane's chicken strips.
Insane, bro.
Kind of
It could not be
crazy.
me.
Kind of crazy. Sonic Ice is more controversial. I don't know.
I mean, here's the
I
thing.
feel like
though.
Timothy really took that over, and I have nothing to be worried about.
I mean, Daniel is objectively wrong about Sonic Ice. Like, if you were to say, Sonic Ice is number like 2 behind whatever type of ice your fucking dumbass brain likes more, then I'd be like, okay, fine. Like, it's the worst ice. I'm like, no siree. Not in my town. Not try that in a small town. Why don't you try telling people about your Sonic takes in a small town? See how far you can get.
Taylor
Every
says
small town has a Sonic, by the way. I just thought about that.
Taylor says
Isn't
that
that
her favorite movie that she knows is bad is Spaceballs. She said, "I love that shitty movie. Shout out to my dad for showing me that." We have another reaction to Timothy's take. It says they're just following up on they're just following up on their earlier comment saying burn in hell. They said, "I legitimately hope he burns in hell."
Right.
All right, doubling down on that. And that person is about to have an ad break in 30 seconds. So you got 30 seconds
The
to
paid
avoid
ad
that
break.
ad break.
Man, I'm trying to think of my favorite movie that I know is bad, but I love it
Yeah.
anyway. And there's so many action movies I think that kind of fall into that category because I do like those old Transformers movies, even though they're awful, like the Shia LaBeouf Transformers movies. And of course, there's a lot of superhero movies that I love that are objectively bad, but I love them anyway. Like, most of Marvel. There are some superhero movies though that I think are pure cinema and phenomenal. But anyways, point is there's a lot of bad movies that I still watch, but I think that it is important to acknowledge that a movie, you can love it and it can be bad, and a movie you could not like that much, but it's objectively good. And I think it's one of the hardest things that people have to come to terms with, and we talk about this on our podcast all the time. It's like, yeah, just because you love a movie doesn't mean it's good. You love a movie, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And you can hate a movie, but it could still be objectively good. You could be like, I don't really like this movie. One of the movies I think was kind of like that for Taylor too, that I got her to come around on was La La Land. She was like, I hate that movie. She's like, I don't really like Emma Stone in that role, and I don't like musicals, whatever. I'm like, you know what? I said I don't like musicals either. I never watch musicals, but La La Land is objectively a good movie. I'm like, it's shot well, it's edited well, the music is actually like really good, and for a musical, it's very little music. It's like, I'm not someone who is head over heels for musicals in general, and I love La La Land, or I like the movie a lot, and I appreciate the movie a lot, even though I don't love the movie, but I do think it's a really good movie. So I think that's like a harder thing to do than like a movie that is objectively bad, is to appreciate a movie you don't like because it's objectively good. Like, that's even harder to do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, don't forget, people said, The Zone of Interest is a masterpiece, and that it's one of the best films made in the past 10, 15 years. So, and I was like, I thought it was boring. I think my answer, I've gotten time to think while you were talking. I think, so thank you for that, because I was stalling for a minute, but I have my answer. I think that my favorite movie that I know is awful might be Freddy Got Fingered. I love that movie.
That is, and
it's really bad.
no one has seen that movie except for you and I.
It's really bad, but I love that movie.
I remember
so funny.
when Disney Plus first started to integrate their other like owned properties like Hulu or whatever into just Disney Plus. I remember just texting out of the blue. I was like, "This is going to be a phenomenal sentence. It's just a piece of history for a time capsule." And I said, "Freddy Got Fingered is on Disney Plus." I was like, "There's a sentence that, out of context of this generation, nobody would know what that meant or why he would say that."
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Yeah, that movie. If you've never seen Freddy Got Fingered, you're not missing much, but at the same time, if you want to know more about me and watch that movie and go, he likes this movie. Gabby says, I think Twilight for me. It's so good but so bad. Gabby says Marvel is trash. Ooh. Taylor says I would never forsake Twilight like that. Gabby says, other than Infinity Wars. And then she said,
Yeah, the 17-year saga leading up to the Infinity Wars. Yeah.
Gabby says Emma Stone, because you said Emma Stone.
Stone.
Taylor says you will never get me on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Gabby says Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was too long, boring. You
know what? I agree that one was too long.
It was too long. I'm about to say I think we both agree with that for sure. I didn't find it that boring, but
sometimes a movie is too long and it is intentionally too long and it needed to be too long for the purpose of tension and world building, and that one was just not one of them. But I will say that while I do not think that I will bring you around on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, just like you're not going to bring me around on the Twilight movies or whatever else, I was going to say something else.
Well, this is a good time. Autobell says, I'm out with a peace sign. Autobell, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for always supporting us. We love you. We appreciate you. Good night. Good night. Yeah, I do also think that movie was too long, but I found it, even in its moments of especially that Leonardo DiCaprio one-take scene, I mean, that was so cool. There's a lot to really appreciate in that movie for me, but I get it. In fact, and Audibel says that she loves musicals, but she dislikes La La Land. I myself tried watching that movie and I turned it off, so I'm also a La La Land hater.
You should finish it.
But let's see.
Sorry.
I've seen the viral clip of getting tapped on the shoulder to go back and forth with the camera. Which I thought was kind of cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, Gabby says Quentin Tarantino is overrated. Taylor says yes, boring as fuck. Mo says, wait, I'm on a super premium ad break that I pay for. I'll tell y'all my bad movies that I like when I'm back.
Okay.
All right, he is back. He said, the Mortal Kombat movies, they are movies that I love, but they are objectively bad, including the terrible new ones.
Oh, if you like the new ones, then yeah, that's a really... I mean, those older ones will always hold a special place in my heart. They just reinforce my love for Mortal Kombat. I have gone back and rewatched them, and I'm just on one hand, the casting is really good, because it's wow, these people looked so much like the characters. To the point to where I'm did they influence the design of these characters moving forward, for the franchise? You know what I'm saying? Is that how influential these movies were to Mortal Kombat? But the newer ones are absolutely awful.
Mo says, right on time, he says, I literally said they were bad, David, hello. Corbin says, The Happening and The Room.
Both good answers.
Both good answers.
The Room is a cult classic. Watch it because it's bad. But yeah, The Happening is a good one. That's if when you go back and you're people are what was The Happening about? You're it's about grass killing people. It's what? It's yeah, grass makes you kill yourself. It's wait, is this an anti-weed campaign? No. It's not. Regular grass makes people kill themselves. That's what the movie's about.
Yeah,
Grass makes people kill themselves. But you know what? It does have some really good imagery. When you think of the scene of the construction workers just walking off of the building, or the guy laying on the ground and letting the lawnmower run over him. So there's some really harrowing scenes of that. And there's the scene with gosh, I forget his name. He's a really famous actor. He plays Sid the Sloth on Ice Age. He is in that movie, and he has a really good monologue in that movie.
Hold on,
that
Dave. I'm going to
I
cut you
like.
off right now. Gabby says I have to go. I'm very tired. Love y'all. Thank you so much, Gabby, for hanging out with us and for chatting with us and answering all these questions with us. We appreciate you. We love you. We kiss you. Have a great night. I love you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he has a good monologue. It's like the whole point of the monologue is he's trying to distract people from like what they're seeing outside of the car, which is people killing themselves all around them. And he's like he gives this he's a math professor, and he is giving this woman a riddle. It's like it's something like if I gave you a penny, and the next day I gave you 2, and then the next day I gave you 4, and then 8, and then 16, and I kept doubling it every day. How much money would you have by the end of the month? And she's like keeps guessing, and she's like freaking out, like everyone's hyperventilating. He's like really like trying to keep the car calm or whatever. And like by the end of it, it like all comes to a head when he looks up, and they're in a Jeep. He looks up and he sees that there's like a tear in the like film on the top of a Jeep, and that the air is coming into the car. So he knows that they're all about to die. He just stops and he just looks up and he goes, "You'd have over $10 million." And then that just cuts away. And I was like that scene. I remember. I'm like, that is like a harrowing scene, for that movie. But then at the same time, it's a movie about fucking harassment, kill yourself. Anyways,
Well, Mo says David clearly loves The Happening. LOL.
it's objectively bad, but I like it.
Mo says, by the way, I wanted to mention that Mo said, Gabby said The Happening scared her a lot as a kid. Mo said, in response to your Mortal Kombat rant, he says, honestly, I hope you burn in hell.
This guy wants us to all burn in hell. Hey, bro, I can't burn in hell before I come to your wedding, okay?
Yeah,
I'll
dude.
see you in
Wait till
December,
after
brother.
December. Let's see. By the way, Mo, just to explain I don't know if you were actually told or not, but I did mention to Timothy that I'm going to Texas in December for a wedding, and he said whose, or someone said whose, and I said Mo's.
And then we told everyone in chat to go congratulate you.
Yeah, and we said everyone in chat needs to go congratulate Mo. Yes, Matt says an objectively bad movie that he enjoys watching is X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh, that's a good one too.
I've never seen
That
it.
is a good one, dude. It's the thing is that it helped us all, like the people who love like comic book whatever. It helped us fall in love with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
You're never going to believe Mo's reaction.
He said, "Burn in hell."
He said, "You disgust me. I hope you burn in hell."
Okay, well,
And Taylor says, yes, X-Men Origins Wolverine is art. All caps. Love it. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call that on stream tonight. It is getting very, very late. I know everyone else.
thanks.
I know a bunch of people in chat have said, hey, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Good night. Same. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. I want to really, really thank each and every one of you who have come out to chat with us. Our very first time doing a Just Chatting stream. Absolutely not the last time doing it, because this was a blast. And I do want to, so thank you to each and every one of you who showed up for stream today. I really appreciate you guys. And a special thank you as well to David and Timothy. I appreciate you guys for joining me in Discord and helping me entertain everybody with this stream and answer these questions. So I appreciate y'all. And until next time, aka tomorrow, that is all for us. So love you guys. We also kiss you guys. Good night.
Good night.